guess it helps if you don't hit the VFO. And one DVL from November 1 Whiskey Charlie Whiskey. Who is the tuner-upper? Oh boy. N1 DVL, N1 DVL from November 1 Whiskey Charlie Whiskey. Interesting. And one DVL from November 1 Whiskey Charlie Whiskey. And one and one DVL from November 1 Whiskey Charlie Whiskey and one WCW.
This is KC3BYC, just checking my tune up here. KC3BYC.
N3 RMR. Test 1 1 test 1 1 1 test N3 RMR. N3 RMR. Audio. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. One, two, 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3. And 3 or more.
Damn, Mark, it doesn't sound like you.
Oh, I bet it sounds very, very bizarre. Good evening.
Now it sounds like you.
Okay. What's up, Hap? How you been?
No complaints. People got enough problems of their own. They don't need to hear more complaints, that's for darn sure. N3ARW.
Yeah, very good. Well, good to hear you're still up and plugging, still making transmissions. We're on a new radio here tonight, so I'm just on the stock mic with it. I have another mic I can try, but this is as far as I got. I tried to get the circuit set up for the King V amp, and for some strange reason, it's it doesn't want to drop the relay down. It looks like there's just a little bit too much internal resistance, so I'm going to have to come up with a keying circuit to drop the relay.
Oh my. Well, it does not sound bad, that's for sure. Even with that, you said a stock mic, I guess that's the handheld. And it don't sound bad at all to me.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a little hand mic that came with the rig. I have it set at 75% on the audio gain. And I'm keying the amp manually with the hand switch there that I have for another radio that doesn't have the capability to key it up. So, there you go. So we're going to try it tonight. We're going to see what the conditions are like, and we can go further with it. We just ran out of time because we got back from Delaware today later in the afternoon, and it took some time to get everything set up, and I wanted to at least be able to get it on the air tonight and kind of see what the receiver was going to be like, and just get a general, use the radio and get a little comfortable with it, because it's quite a bit different than the other rig, N3RMR.
What kind of radio is it, Mark?
This is the ICOM 7300.
Oh, okay. That's why it sounds decent. The 7300. I think you're going to like that radio.
Yeah, so far I haven't found anything I disagree with. I just got to figure out how to get the thing to key the relay down. It has an internal resistance of 1.6 ohms on the keying circuit, so I think it's just a little bit too much to drop the relay down. Either the relay I'm using is a little too big, or the other rig dropped the relay just fine, but this one's a little bit different, so we'll figure it out.
So are you running barefoot, KPDS?
No, I am not barefoot. I am running full boogie here with the amp.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, +5 in the Baltimore.
Oh, well, thank you, Baltimore. Good evening. Name's Mark, calls in 3RMR, Norway 3 Radio, Mexico Radio.
Okay, Mark, I think we worked before. That audio sounds really good to me. I've heard Heil mics which sounded worse.
Well, while I was down there, they sold me a Heil microphone that supposedly is going to work well with the ICOM here, and it was a fairly decent price. I had a few extra bucks, so I picked one up just to give it for grins and giggles. The microphone I was actually told to use was, I forget the name of it. I'm sure Ray will tell me here as soon as he gets on, but it's an MX something or other. It's a $178 or whatever it is. It's a really nice mic too, but it's okay. I can use the Heil for other things as well. But we don't have that one hooked up yet. We're just, like I said, running the stock mic at the moment.
I wasn't full with it. Man, that sounds great. Do I have your call right? N3RMR, is that right?
That is correct. Norway 3 Radio, Mexico Radio.
Okay, fine business. Yeah, the name is Dave, and I'm in Maryland. And I'm running my radio in a new configuration. I'm using a separate receive antenna, and boy, does that make a difference. I'm transmitting with an inverted L, and that is a lousy receive antenna.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the L's going to give you problems in summer. A lot of vertical component on lightning and man-made noise and whatnot. That's a tough antenna to receive on. I'm sure you've got plenty of radials under it too, and it doesn't matter. It's still just a tough antenna. I'm taking it you're running a beverage of some kind. Go ahead.
No, I've got a, it's hard to describe what it is. It's a trap dipole configured as a slanting, what would you call it, angled, whatever. Anyway, it's pointed towards Europe, but it seems to be receiving great from everywhere. And like you said, the static is much less on that antenna than it is on the inverted L. It's kind of like tipping me off because I can't work yours with the Belgian thing because I can't hear yours. But I think I'm getting probably out pretty good. I think I can put some power and get to Europe, but I can't hear. So we'll see whether or not this radio work for, this antenna work for me on 160 meters to Europe.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Do you have room for a beverage?
Oh, no. Got a lot's 125 feet long. I guess I could run it back and forth about 37 times.
That kind of defeats the purpose. No, that's kind of not going to work. Yeah. Yeah, you could even try the K9AY loop. There's a whole bunch of other different kind of beverage antennas you could possibly try. Yeah, you'd use what you're using there. Who am I to tell you what works and what doesn't work? This is it's still an experimental band, so you just got to try what works on your property. I've tried all kind of different things for receive antennas, and I ultimately ended up with 2 beverages at the moment, which I think I'm going to go to multipath on both of them because they're northeast, west, south. We're northwest, north, south, east, west. Hello, Sun Pride. And they seem to work pretty good. But right now, the way I got the rig configured up through that loop, I don't have access to them at the moment. I have to change a few coaxes around. So this is just this is kind of the first night with this radio. So we're just giving it a whirl. We're running a full loop up about, I'd say the average is 40 feet up or so. And we're running about a KW there over.
Yeah, that's what I would have if I had the room. I would have a full-wave 160-meter loop, but needless to say, it's not going to go in 125 feet by 50 feet. Okay, I'll get back on the side, but I wanted to tell you that you sounded really good, and now I got you at plus 10 in Maryland. So the radio is doing a fine job, and so is the amp, and so is the antenna especially. N3RMR, K3DOS. I'll be back on the side.
Okay, K3DOS, this is just rig power. Looks like this might be about maybe 70 watts or so. Do you copy this?
58, 5 and 8 on that.
Okay, be good. So the band will level out here in about another half hour. It's still in daylight, so it's still real short. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Don't go anywhere. The group here is not even on yet, so they'll be on all night long for several hours. So this is the place to be in amateur radio on 160 and 3RMR.
Well, I know that you toad net folks feel like that, but it's debatable. It's a nice place, and I like to come here once in a while. But no, it's great guy. By the way, I'm running 99 watts, 99 watts, barefoot, and I'm saying for something. This is K3.
I'm terrible with names.
Name down, I forgot that already. Which is ridiculous because I know I worked here 12 times.
Oh yeah, I'm worse at that than you are, Dave. My name's Mark, but yeah, I could be on a frequency for 15 times, and God, I'll know the person by their voice. I'll even know the stuff about them, but I'll forget their name. So it's you know, it is what it is. Have a great night, Dave. Come on back if you can. You're always welcome. In 3 or more. Have a great night.
Okay, Mark. Thank you. K3BOS clear 73. Bandwidth set at.
You know what? I have no clue. I haven't even got into that menu yet. I figured out how to do the filters on the receive. I figured out how to put the noise.
No, push the menu, then set.
Menu, then set. All right, where is set?
Over on the right-hand side.
Okay. Well, I guess I obviously can't transmit while I'm in that.
Itself. But if you go into the menu, set an undertone control.
Okay, go on.
And then undertone control, push the TX.
All right. And then I'll be able to make adjustments in that menu?
Push the sideband.
Oh my God, this is like 5 levels. All right, let me try those so far, see if I can get it right. Okay, I got bass and treble.
Okay, you have TBW wide.
I do. It's 100 to 2900.
Oh, it's already set for you. How about the TBW mid?
300 to 2700. This is very similar to my 7000.
Yeah, make the TBW mid 300 to 2900.
All right, that's done.
Hello, anybody here?
Yeah, hi, Ray.
Hello, who's this?
It's Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah, you're weak. Are you running your ramp?
Yeah, sorry, I was just talking local here with Hap.
Okay, yeah, that's much better now. Okay, I'll be back in a while. I'm just demonstrating the radio for a friend.
Yeah, okay, no problem. The band's not even leveled out yet, but I'm hearing you. I'm actually hearing you when the other radio I probably wouldn't be.
What radio are you running?
This is the 7300.
Oh, very good. Okay, we'll play around with it later. I'm running 1500 watts right now, but you're right. You probably still wouldn't hear me because your signal's not very strong. Okay, I'll be back in a while.
Very good. We'll see you then when you get back. Okay, Hap, we made those adjustments. I left the narrow filter alone.
Okay, very good. All right, that's all you got to do now. Just push that little arrow on the bottom right side there of the screen and get out of everything.
Yeah, I already figured that one out. That's the take back button. Yeah, this is starting to be very similar to the 7000 in its architecture.
Yeah, that's why I said you're going to like that radio. I've been running this thing for, oh my God, how long has it been now? It's been a few years, and I'll tell you, every time I use this darn thing, Mark, I enjoy it more and more. I really like this 7300.
Oh, so you're running one too? Yeah, I never even knew that you had one of these. I don't think I ever really asked, got into it that much. And you've got quite a bit of crowd noise in there with you. Are you running a party there, and you didn't invite me, or what's the deal?
I got the family in the kitchen, and you know how family is. Everyone tries to out-talk or over-talk the other one. And this is the results that I get all the time.
Well, let me tell you what, you're definitely way over them, but you can hear them in the background, no problem.
I can hear them on Cape Cod.
You're going to have the same experience. I hate to tell you that. If anybody comes in there while you're talking and they make a noise, it is going to come through. But I love the receiver on this thing. And I've had all good audio reports, so I had nothing to be ashamed of, that's for sure. However, I lost my FT2000 when I got hit by that darn lightning strike, blew everything out of the house. And it cleaned me out of everything, and I had to start all over again. So I ended up getting a 7300 from a recommendation of a very good friend of mine. The only thing is I'm using the ICOM microphone, the SM8 microphone. And, well, like I said, I've got all good reports so far. M3RMR and 3ARW.
Well, let me tell you what, Hap, you sound spectacular on that radio. At least on this radio, you sound real good. No problem at all. Even with the background ambiance, we'll call it, it makes it sound kind of neat, actually. But, well, my 2000 didn't get hit with lightning yet. It just got hit with it's getting old. And it still works great, but we have that hooked up. We're just using that on 2 meter and 440 at the moment. And for 6 meters, unfortunately, my 1 6 meter antenna is reading an open standing wave like infinite. So something must have come disconnected. I'll have to figure that out at another time. But we just got this geared up here, and I spent probably an hour trying to figure out why I couldn't get the relay to chat down. And then I finally pulled the multimeter out and looked at the resistance online. I'm like, well, man, that is so close. I just don't get it. It should bring it down, but it's not.
Yeah, well, now you're going to have to read the book, because I know there's adjustments in there that you can make, and it will kick that relay for you. Mark, I'll tell you the truth, the way I found out an awful lot of stuff was with the computer. I went on the computer there and I put down the ICOM 7300, and it came back with a whole bunch of stuff with all kind of videos showing you different steps and different things that you can do with the radio. And that's where I've been learning a lot of stuff about this particular item.
Yeah, they said that I was probably going to want to do that, and that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to do that. I'll have to go over to my mom and dad's because I don't have an actual computer here. I only have my multimedia personal phone device, which I can get on the net with that, but I don't think... well, maybe I can look at those videos on there because I've watched other videos on the 7300, so perhaps I can get some heads up on that. But the actual disc that comes with the radio in the box, I have no way to play that at the moment.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, that's right. You don't get a darn book with it. You get the disc. Oh, okay. Now, short memory is killing me. Or should I say long-term memory? Just memory, period, killing me. I can't remember a damn thing anymore.
Well, that's okay. You don't have to worry about it because you'll forget about that too. Well, no, I did get a manual in the box with the radio. That's how I knew kind of where to plug what in and what does what and what menus and all that business. So I've been looking into that too. And I knew that there might have been some kind of hidden menu for engaging that or changing the parameters on the key down. I don't know that there might be something in there. I looked for it, but the book that comes in the box, it doesn't have anything of that particular and detailed in it. It just shows you basically how you hook up the amp, where you plug it in. But besides that, it's kind of vague.
Mark, the CD doesn't either. Does not have all that stuff on it. That's why I say if you can get a hold of the computer and get in there and watch that stuff, hopefully your memory is a hell of a lot better than mine, because mine's terrible. And you'll be able to remember that stuff, so when you go back home you'll be able to punch it in and play around. But there's a heck of a lot of stuff in this radio, man. Oh, my God, there's a lot in there. And most of it is all done with that menu button.
Yeah, me and the menu button are going to become best friends. Well, I had the 7000. I was using that for like 2 or 3 years. I think you probably remember I was on that a couple times and yacked at you a couple years ago. And, oh, man, I had the 7000 memorized. I could go anywhere on that radio, tell you how to do anything on that thing. And it won't take me long with this rig up. It won't take me long at all. This is very similar to the 7000 and menus and format and touchscreen and all that business. You catch on real fast. It actually seems to be a fairly easy to use radio. While we were down there at HRO today, we actually drove down and purchased it. I didn't order it through the mail. I was looking at that 890 from Kenwood there. They had it set up on the display. They had a whole bunch of big ones. They had the 101, the new one from Yaesu was set up. And we were playing around with some of them rigs. Boy, I'll tell you that 890 is, oh, wow. If I could just, win the lottery.
K3SPK.
Good evening.
Yeah, K3SPK, go ahead.
Kilo Alpha 3 Sierra Victor Kilo. Yeah, I guess you got a new radio.
Yeah, Hap says I sound pretty good on the stock mic. I guess, I don't know.
The stock mic really, I'll be honest with you, you don't need any more than that. The stock mic absolutely sounds fantastic. But I just like a boom mic because I'm just lazy. I don't want to hold it with my hand.
Yeah, well, I picked up a Heil while I was down there. They sold me a Heil for a good price. They said this is the one that they recommend for the ICOMs. I was looking for the one that Ray was always pushing on me, but he didn't have that down there. And I had a few extra bucks, so I thought, for grins and giggles, I'll get one. If it don't work, I can use it on something else, or I can sell it to somebody, or whatever. So I have that mic over there I can try, too, but I haven't got that far with it yet. I was having issues with trying to figure out how to get the damn keying circuit to key my relay for the amp and everything.
What? I mean, it's just a plug that goes in the back of the radio and goes into your amp. That's almost a given.
Right. So I plugged it in, and it's not dropping the relay because I have a relay in my little beverage switchover circuit. That's just a standard 12-volt relay, double pull, double throw from Radio Shack. And I have 12 volts on that line, so that drops, and then that keys the amplifier relay and everything up. But it's not enough to pull that relay in my beverage switch down, and that's the problem.
All right. Well, I use the relay in the radio to control other functions. I do not use it to key the amplifier. I have the Heil foot switch that has a separate plug for the amplifier, and it has a plug for the radio. So it keys up the amplifier before it keys up the radio to make sure I don't hot switch it. So I did that with both my radios.
Right. Well, at the moment, I am keying the amplifier with a hand switch that I have built because I had wired it up that way for another radio that did not have keying capabilities. Actually, I had it rigged up for the 7000 because I only had one keying circuit from the 2000. So I am able to use the amplifier doing it this way, but it kind of takes two hands, and it's kind of a pain.
I don't say. Like I said, the foot switch works really good. Like I said, you can't. You can actually key up the amplifier way before if you go slow than the radio. So, like I said, I didn't want to deal with worried about hot switching, so that's why I got the foot switch. It's just me. And the radio's working good for you. You happy with it?
Yeah, so far I'm loving it. I mean, you wouldn't believe how nice you sound on this compared to the other rig. It's unreal. And kick the filter on, and that's, wow. You know, I don't know what to say. I'm not used to running a rig of this caliber yet. I got to use it for a couple nights to get over the dancing in the street. You know what I mean?
Hey, Mark. Well, I have, I have the FT991A, which is a nice radio, and I like it, and I use it a lot. I still use it a lot, mainly for UHF, VHF, 6 meters, 10 meters, sideband, AM for the for the upper frequencies. And I do 60 meters with it too, and I'll get on 160 with it if I'm doing something else on this radio. But the other one's still a great radio. But I really just like this one. It's just I'm very happy with it. It's easy to use. It's all set up the way I want it for the frequencies I want it. I got everything in it. And, I always tend to go to this one first before the other one. Unless I'm doing FM or sideband 2 meters 440, of course. This one doesn't do it. The other one does it good and does it real good, in fact. And I know that with the ST991A, everybody says when I'm on FM with that RE320 microphone, they say, "Oh my God, I didn't know FM could sound so good." So I know the radio's working great. And I just still fall to this one because I just like it.
Okay, now here's just the radio. I'm doing about, what is my power here? I have no idea. Oh, I got to look at the other meter. I got too many meters going on here. Oh, it's about 60 watts.
Well, your 60 watts is still giving me just a little bit above the S number.
Yeah, and there's full boogie with the amp. Actually, the amp's acting goofy right now. It's only doing half power. Don't know why it does that. Still haven't pulled it apart and cleaned it. We'll get to that eventually, as soon as I can figure out how to get the thing to key up. You know what the ohmic value on the key circuit on the 7300 here is 1.6 ohms, and for some reason that is just a little bit too much internal resistance, and it won't drop that relay. That's what I think is going on. The relay that I use for the switchover for the beverage and all the keying for all the other stuff, it's probably just a little bit outside the dropping current.
I hear what you're saying. I don't know what to tell you on that. What kind of relay did you use? Did you use some beefy relay? I get these really nice little relays that I use, and they work great. They're good for up to, they say it'll take a full legal limit, but I don't. I use them strictly for 100 watts, so it's overkill. And they're just tiny little things. They just draw such a small amount of current, and they're dead quiet. They really work well. But what kind of relay are you using?
Well, I picked these relays up at a Radio Shack that was going obviously out of business, and I picked up a whole handful of these things. Some of them are 120 volt input, some of them are 12 volt input. They're 10 amp double pole, double throw, the big clear ones with the big coil inside that you can see. They're kind of a beefy relay. They're meant for high power applications, I guess, on circuits and whatnot. And that's the one I had. It was available in the drawer when I wired it up for the beverage switch and everything. So that's the one I used. Although the rig will probably key the amp up. If I just ran right over to the amplifier, it'll probably key the amp up just fine. But the actual relay that it's in the beverage switch that does the keying for the amp and the switchover for the beverage, that's the relay I'm having problems with.
Man, I would go ahead and I would make a new relay box and get something that draws less milliamps. I'm trying to look at the ones I buy. These things are really nice. I don't know what to say. I use them for the same thing you're talking about, for the switching of the beverage antenna. No, it's not a beverage antenna. It's inverted L. And I use the same relay for switching between the inverted L and the regular antenna. Or I can make it so it transmits on the inverted L or transmits on the regular antenna, or I can receive on the inverted L and it automatically comes back to transmit on the 160 antenna. So I can flip-flop around and play with it. And I use that tiny little relay. And the thing, it's no more than about an inch and a quarter by a 3/8 of an inch by a half an inch. It is small, but it'll carry up to 8 amps, 8 or 9 amps. And a lot of times what I'll do is I will double it up because it's a 2-pole normally open, and normally open or normally closed, whichever way you want to put it. And so it's 2-pole one. And so what I'll do is I will take and I'll cross the 2 poles together, so I'm doubling it. So now it's up to about 14 amps. So I'll do that also to make sure that if one contact isn't just using all the power to it, I have two contacts doing it, and it will assure me that I won't wear out the contacts from current. So it works great. I've been using it for a long time, and I just had zero problems with them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm familiar with the one you're running there. That's not quite a read relay, but it's just a step up from it. You are 20 over 9 to me right now with this new and improved receive meter.
Well, the radio receiver is generous, let me put it that way. And do you have an external antenna tuner?
November 1, November
Get
Papa
used to
Quebec.
using it, because that will help the front end from getting front end overload. If you ever see any, if you use the auto tuner on a radio, and it works, it does a great job, but all of a sudden you'll be getting overload in the front end of the radio, and you say, well, okay. And if you go to what do you call it? Oh my goodness, I'm turning off some radios right now. If you go to like preamp 1 and 2, but if you use your tuner, it filters it and puts it more on the band where it needs to be at and nulls everything off to the sides of it. And you can put your amp 1 and 2 on, and you will get nothing. So if you experience that, use your external tuner, and you will not have any problems.
Oh, yeah. I always
November
run,
1, November Papa Quebec.
8-gallon wash tub tuner, which you probably haven't taken a look at pictures of yet. I told you to go look, but you said you don't do Facebook or the computer or anything, so you haven't yet seen them. But anyway, it's there to be seen if you're interested. So I got the tuner in line. That's always there. Yeah, so far I'm trying to figure. I went over there and tried the preamp 1 and 2, which worked, but I don't know how to get it to attenuate. It says attenuation on it. I pushed it and held it, but that didn't do anything. So obviously there's a trick to that as well.
N1 MPQ.
No, you're doing the right thing. You push it once, it goes to preamp 1. You push it again, it goes to preamp 2. You push it again, and it turns off, right? What you do is you push it when it's off, and you hold it, and it will go to attenuate. You'll see the ATT come on.
N1 MPQ.
I wasn't holding it long enough.
Yeah, now what's cool is if you push the ATT and you have it like that, and you push it again, you can go to preamp 1 and 2, and then you push it again, it'll go back to attenuation. It won't go back to regular. You have to push it again while it's in attenuation to get the flip out. I believe that's how it works. But it works good. I use it all the time.
The other thing I noticed is that the filtering on this radio is far superior to the other rig. It's like night and day.
Well, you know how to change the filter, don't you? I mean, I found that out from being on the Toad HarmorNet from someone that had a 7300K, 360K for ID. Whoever cares, but anyway, I just said it. I shouldn't say for ID because everybody knows I said it just to say it because I need to, not because I'm trying to ID.
NPQ.
How to change the noise reduction, the digital noise reduction that goes into another little sub-menu so you can adjust your level 1 through 10. Just figured that out. Like I said, I just got this on the air tonight here, and I'm learning as I'm going. I'm picking it up fast. It's just like the 7000. It's just got more stuff on the same architecture.
N1 MPQ.
And hold it, and it'll go into the menu on that. You push it again, it goes out of it. And noise reduction, you push it, it goes into the menu. You hold it for 2 seconds or something. Now, if you see the FIL1, you push it 1, 2, or 3 times. It flips between the different bandwidths. If you have it like an FIL1 and you put your finger on it and you hold it, it goes into the menu to adjust the bandwidth. You can make it even go wider.
Okay, now I'm at, let's do that. I'm at filter bandwidth of 0 to 3K. Now I can go wider than that, you're saying?
Yes, I believe, if I'm correct, you hold the FIL1 and you hold it, and it opens up another window. What you do is you push on the right-hand side, I'd have to do it to see it. But you on the bottom right where it says the filter, whatever it is, touch it once, it turns blue, and you can take the knob on the left and adjust it.
Well, I'll be dippy dooby.
Hello, Mark. You got a new toy? This is WG2E. And N1NPQ has been trying to get in.
So you have filter one.
I'll be with you in a sec. I heard you.
So you can get the fidelity from all these wideband radios, and then you can take the next one, and you can make that the 1 to 3,000, and you can make the other one a little more narrow. I never go to 3. It's like annoying. I can't stand it.
Yeah, I'm used to the 5K on the Kenwood. Who else was making the call there for me? Go ahead, N3 or more.
Hey, it's Carl, WG2E. I guess you got something new to play with, but Bill, N1NPQ has been trying to get in here for 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to take a break. I've bragged enough and yacked enough about it. Back to normal operation. We'll learn as everybody's talking here. We'll try things. N3 or more. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I'm tuning up the amp right now, but I got KC1KUT is hanging out with me this evening, so he'll probably be on a little bit later here also. Hey, Bill, how you doing? It's Carl, WG2E.
Hey, Carl, let me get to you,
Carl.
and I'll be right back.
Hey, Carl, are you hearing N1QWN?
If that's you, yes, I am.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I can just barely hear Mark out there, and I heard he's got a new radio, and I was just wondering if my 100 watts was going to do anything tonight.
Well, you're just about 10 over here near Schenectady. The band's being kind of funny. It's really got a really in and out fading. Mark will be like 10 over 9, and then it'll be down to a 5, and it seems to be coming and going takes a minute or two each time.
Oh, that's good to know. I thought it was something happening on my end. All right, there's a lot of guys in here, so I'll step aside. N1QWN, Cape Cod.
N1NPQ. All right, is that better now? I'm not sure everybody's hearing everybody. Hey, Carl, can you hear me? I sure can. I'm hearing you. You're about 20 over here in Vermont. Okay, likewise for you. Yeah, I guess sounds like Mark's got a new toy. And N1QWN, Cape Cod, he was just in here, so I'm not sure that everybody's here. And I know you were calling, and those guys, Chris and Mark, I don't think could even hear you. Yeah, I don't think the band's fully up yet, so, well, it is early. The sun's still shining, so, anyways, you're 20 over here, so how's my signal? My buddy came over and we got my antenna back up. It kind of fell down about 20 feet during the winter, so hopefully it's working a little better now. Okay, you peaked at 25 over there just now. Okay, yeah, I'm putting out 600 watts right now. Yeah, no problem copying you.
AA1LY.
Hey, excuse me, I got a phone call, WG2E.
N3 or more.
N1NPQ.
Is the Heil microphone.
Well, you're going to have to readjust it. It's not the same as a hand mic.
Obviously. So I have no idea what it sounds like. Too bassy, too trebly, too mushy, what?
What do you have them set at this time before you change anything?
Okay, let me go back over to that menu if I can remember how to do it.
November 1, November Papa, Quebec. Good evening, guys. There, I got my amp on, so hopefully you're hearing me okay.
Okay, big shot out of
one in Hawaii.
Do you need less tone, less bass, less treble, what?
Well, I don't know. I would say, first of all, you got too much bass, and you could use just a little bit of treble. I don't know what you have. What are you set at?
Okay, I took some bass out. I removed bass.
What do you have the number set at on bass?
I'm at -4, and treble is at 0.
Add a little bit on the treble.
There's +1, over.
All right, and can you get to your ALC to see how much mic gain you are? Because you can use more gain.
Okay, let me get out of this menu, and we'll go over and give you a little more gain. Okay, I have the microphone gain at 85% at the moment.
Do you have your compressor on?
I do not have any compressor on at all.
Turn it on 2 or 3.
There's the compressor on at 2.
What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry, there. Now it's on. Compressor is now on at 2. At 2, over.
Yeah, try 2. Leave it at that. I wouldn't go above that. And your mic gain, you still might have to go up a little bit more. Can you get to your ALC to see what it looks like when you talk into it?
Yeah, hold on a minute. I'm going to have to make a few other changes. There's 100% on the mic gain, and I turned the amp on as well so you can hear me better.
Okay, well, try going back down to about 80.
Okay, the microphone is now at 80% on the gain. 80%, over.
Still sounds a little punchy. Try 70.
Okay, there is 70% on the audio. Mary had a little sheep.
And take your compressor and turn it down to 1.
There's the compressor at 1 on the compressor. Over.
Okay, I would say start with that, and I'm sure they'll tell you to adjust some more stuff. But that's a good start.
Okay, that's set for the Heil. Of course, the hand mic is a completely different set of parameters. So I don't necessarily have to keep this microphone on this radio. I'm not in love or any way with it. It's just I bought it for grins and giggles.
Okay, well, I tell you what, the hand mic absolutely sounds good. I mean, it has good quality sound to it that I don't even think the Heil has it. Actually, the hand mic sounds better.
All right, then I'll just go back over to the hand mic, and we'll put this back in the box and use it for something else.
Well, I mean, just my personal opinion, I think actually a hand mic sounds better.
We'll just leave the Heil on here for a little while, and we'll get a few more comments, and we'll see what people say. I mean, I'm not saying your opinion's wrong. It's just one opinion, you know what I mean?
Yep, opinions are like derrieres. Everybody has one.
I could turn to Kenwood on here and take a listen to myself, but I haven't quite got that far yet. I'm just, this is playtime right now. You got to kind of feel things out, get everything straightened out. I don't even have a boom for this mic or anything to hold it. I have to hold it in my hand.
Give me one more notch on the highs.
Okay, hold on. I got to get back over to that menu. One moment.
I just want to see what it sounds like with just one more notch on the highs.
Okay, there's +2 on the treble. +2 on the treble, over.
All right. Try 3.
All right, going to 3. Yeah, I know Heils are they have a tendency to be a little mushy from the ones I've heard on the air. I never really liked Heil, but, it's what they had, and he said this one works with ICOM, and it's already wired up, and it looks pretty, and, well, here it is at +3.
All right. Leave it at +3 for right now and see what they say. I think the highs are definitely helping the mic, but I tell you what, the hand mic really sounds good. Every hand mic I heard on those things, you really don't need a mic. I don't need a mic, but I don't like the hand mic. That's all. It's just me. But the hand mic sound beautiful on those radios.
Yeah, Hap said it good. You said I sounded good. The way I was looking and responding, it looked like it was doing real good as well. It's just a little capacitive button mic. You know, if you get good reports with just the stock mic, I mean, holy cow.
Well, I don't know what it is, but Yaesu on this radio, in my opinion, with the hand mic, if someone just wants to get a radio out of the box, run it, they don't need to do anything. It's just the perfect radio, the way it sits, and I think they're great. So I have, I don't use my hand mic. So here I am telling you to use a hand mic, and I don't even use it. But I know it sounds good.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, in the future getting a boom and have this kind of hanging so I don't have to hang on it. I haven't even tried the Vox on this radio yet. I don't even know. I think it's over there on the left somewhere. I have to figure out how to kick that on and see what that responds like and get the settings set up for that. And so, you know, I had the perfect space for it, too. Right on top of Kenwood, there's a space here. I had to move one little meter, and it fit just perfectly right in that little cubby there, and it works out real nice. So it's not that much bigger than the 7000.
You know, I don't know how big that 7000 is. It's real close to being it's about an inch higher than my Yaesu. The width is the same, the depth is the same, tight from bottom to top. It looks like it almost has an inch on it. So they're real close to being the same size, which worked out fine because where I had the Yaesu at, this icon popped right in that same slot. No problem, no fuss, no muss. I didn't have to change a thing. And then I made a new spot for the Yaesu. But for the size of the radio, it's unbelievable. K3SPK.
N3 RMR on my new 7300.
So you're a new happy camper, huh?
Yeah, I can't really complain. Just now, I'm I'd say probably 6 inches away from the microphone.
Okay. Well, I usually I turn my mic gain down and I get up on the microphone because my dogs and they bark. It's pretty obnoxious. So I turn down the gain and I pretty much about an inch and a half away from the microphone. I figure that's the best bet for me to keep the dog barking down a little bit.
Now, what's the XFC button do?
To the what?
Of course, you know where the multi-control button knob is. Right below that is XFC. Transmit filter control?
The band's shifting on us, and you're starting to go down. So I'm trying to figure out where is it at that you're looking at.
Okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't keying the mic because I had my other hand in use. Do you know where the multi-control knob is on the right-hand side?
Yes.
The little thing right underneath of it says XFC.
I don't know. I don't play with it.
Interesting. I'll have to crack the manual.
Yeah, it doesn't. I figured out what I need to do with everywhere I need to go. And that's one button, I'm afraid it's like one of those buttons that says, don't touch it, because the radio will blow up, and then everybody wants to touch it just to see what happens.
Well, I've touched it, and nothing happened. So I guess you have to be in the right menu for it.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't mess with it. I ended up finding everything I needed on YouTube because, they give you this stinking CD. And so I went online and I printed out the whole menu. So if I really want to, I printed out the whole menu off of the internet, and I'll just read it if I need to. But the CD is like, come on, man! Why don't you give someone a book they could touch with their hands?
Well, yes, but we are in a new digital age, so
Yeah, that's why I printed it. So now I have a printed copy. If I really want to dig into it, it's like my old manual.
Okay, here's the Vox. I just pushed the Vox button in, and I am transmitting not with the amplifier, but just by my voice.
Well, talk a little bit more, stop, and then talk a little bit more and see how the delay is on it.
Okay, looks like the delay on the transmit side's acceptable, and it looks like we have about a half-second delay on the letting go.
Well, you know what? It's working pretty damn good because it's so fast, I don't miss any syllables at all.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and talk with it. I have to manually kick the amp on, but I'm talking with the Vox by keying the radio by my voice. So there you go.
I'm not missing anything. It's happening so fast that I don't miss a syllable.
Okay, so I know the Vox works okay, and I'm sure there's menus to get in there to make adjustments and all of that, so that works good. I can't believe the receive quality on this, though. You just sound fabulous.
What do you think your radio sounds like?
I have no idea. I'm used to running junk.
Well, I don't know what to say. Get on the air with that microphone and see what you say. And then they may ask you to go back to the hand mic and do a difference between the two to tell you which ones they like. But I tell you what, that hand mic it sounds perfect, that damn thing. I don't know that really you need anything else. And I think Dave, he takes his hand mic. I believe he hangs it on his boom. That's how he does his. He hangs his mic on the boom. He says, I'm not buying a mic. This one works great.
You know, that's exactly what I did with my 7000. I built a little boom thing on it, just like he did. I used the stock mic.
Yep. It works. It works good. And he really doesn't need anything else. But I'm just one of those squirrely guys got to have a regular, something different, and I went with this one. The RE320, I'm sure sounds good on that radio also, but they're expensive microphones. I should say Howells are expensive. There's nothing cheap about a Howell. Anything you buy from Howells is expensive. I got this one, the MXL microphone. I got it on the internet for $70. And it worked just fine, no problem. So it was used, but I got it for $70, and I figured, man, that's not a bad deal. They're like $150 or $160 new.
Yeah, there's nothing cheap like that. That's high-ender stuff. Yeah, this is my first Heil microphone ever. I never really had any real about Heil, but I thought, for grins and giggles, we'll see what it can do. Okay, I got called over to the 220 band by the fellow that we went down to HRO with today, so I have to skip off here for a few moments and give him some time. We will be back here in a little bit, N3R more.
All right, enjoy, K3SPK. I'll be hanging out.
Where the heck is everybody?
Hello there.
I guess this thing's working. Hey, radio, KB2ZVP. Where's everybody?
KA3SPK. I was talking to Mark. He was on the radio with his new 7300, and he's talking to someone on 220 right now, so that's what he's up to. But I was listening to him on his new 7300, and he was on his hand mic, and then he switched over to a Heil mic he picked up for it that they suggested for it. But I'll let you all decide what you think about that. KA3SVK.
Yeah, okay. It's not one of those HM10s or, well, no, HM12 or something, right?
I didn't ask. I just know it's not an MXL BCD1.
Well, there are many Hiles that are very, very good, and a few that are not very so good. So anyway, KB2ZVP, hello, everybody. I'm not sure who all is in here, but hello, radio.
Actually, there was some people in here, but it was they were very thin. I don't know if they're running power or not. And how are you doing today?
I'm good. Just been crazy busy. A lot going on, you know.
Yeah, I know something about. And you were topic of conversation on 60, and we were talking about you're working on the antenna, trying to get it back on their vehicle and all that stuff. And I told them that you said hello.
Okay. Believe it or not, I had a short conversation on the telephone just then. What was the topic of? I heard you say something about topic of conversation. I didn't get what was. Okay. I didn't get what was the conversation.
Topic conversation was your antenna, 60 meters, and that you were working on trying to get your mobile back together, and maybe you would hop on 60 meters when the time came.
Oh yeah, I haven't done much with it. It's ready to go. I just gotta hook it up and put the thing on. That's all.
Yeah, well, I was mentioning that you were working on it, and everybody is awaiting the mobile radio how should I put it? Extreme signal.
Okay. Well, I think that's a really nice compliment. Thank you, Chris. In my mind, that's a good compliment. I'll take it. Appreciate that. Anyway, so where's Mark with his? I want to hear Mark with his 7300.
Well, he's talking to someone on 220 who want the HRO to pick it up. And that's where he's on, evidently, 220 right now. He's probably hearing us. So I'm sure he'll be back. He was on with the hand mic. The hand mic on that thing sounds really good. He put on the Heil, and we tweaked it a little bit. But I think my ear's not as good as y'all's.
Okay, just shot him a text. He'll be on, I'm sure. So anyway, very good. Well, we'll listen to him and do the best we can. Those hand mics are hard to beat on the 7300. They're not, it takes a pretty good mic to beat those.
I agree 100%. I mean, you don't need a mic. That hand mic just sounds so good. It's perfect for that radio, and it's probably the best sounding hand mic I ever heard.
You listen to Dave, N1SAG, and how good he sounds. That's just a hand mic that he's running, and, there's not a lot of people who sound better than him. I think Bruce sounds fantastic, and you listen to Bruce, he's running. I'm not sure what Bruce is running, if it's the hand mic or the modified D104.
I have no idea. Seems like I heard him say something about D104, but I don't know what he's running. But I know that the hand mic everybody I know that has one, it just sounds perfect. You don't need anything else. But I just wanted to get this one. I like a boom mic.
I do too. I wouldn't use a hand mic. If I'm mobile, that's one thing, but not here in the shack. My hands are always on the computer or drawing or doing something, a little project here or there. And the boom mic makes me feel just like a big shot,
The boom mic is good for me because I use my foot switch and my hands are not quite right yet. It'll probably be 6 months before my hands are right. And the foot switch is much nicer to talk on the radio than holding a button or a hand mic.
Yeah, I've been using a boom mic and a foot switch since the 90s, and I don't ever plan on going back, not with the base station. I don't think there's any reason to use a hand mic for a bass. I just prefer the boom mic, and that's just the way it works here.
Well, that's what I told him. I said, why don't you take your hand mic and stick it on a boom, and then do it that way.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, that would just look stupid.
It'll work, and it'll sound really good, too.
It would look like you were cheap.
Cheap.
And it would never sound as good as one of the good mics.
So, are you ready?
Yep.
So, you got a piece of paper and a pen?
Hang on. Let me get a piece of paper and a pen. Okay, go ahead.
So, write down 2 columns, okay? Left is the YS60, right is the 801.
What's the designation of the Yaesu? YF, what is it?
Yankee Sierra 60.
Okay, and yours is a what?
Just write down, okay, well, Charlie November 801. Charlie November 801.
Okay, go ahead.
At 500 PEP, I'm going to give you both PEP and average. 500 watt PEP, the Yaesu 60, or YS60 is 500, and the 801 550. Okay? At 800 watts PEP, the YS60 is 800, and the 801 is 800. At 1,000 watts PEP, the YS60 is 1,000, the 801 is 950. At 1,500 watts, the Yaesu YS60 is 1,500, and the 801 is 1,400. And at 2,000, the YS60 is 2,000, and the 801 is 1,850.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Okay.
And the average is both exactly the same. 500, 500, 800, 800, 900, 900. And that's 900 watts average. So that's up there way over 3,000 watts, you know?
No, it's not. No, 900 watts average. Are you talking about when you're talking or a carrier?
A CW, on CW. 900 watts average is probably, 3 times average is peak.
No. If you're throwing a carrier, 900 watts CW is going to be 900 watts PEP, or very close.
Yeah, right. If you're throwing it, if I just switch that thing to PEP at that setting, it just pegs the meter. It'll just knock the meter off the scale.
Oh, I see. You fast CW. Okay, I understand what you're saying. So these readings were all with the CW keyer going.
Everything was with the CW keyer going. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. My meter on the BT 1500, I've turned it up at least 100, 150 watts, and it still reads lower than the YS60.
Yeah, the YS60 reads a little higher than my 801, especially on the high power. It reads more generous than, it's 150 watts high at 2,000 watts.
Yeah, well, the trouble is I can't even get my this amplifier up to max power I can get out of it is 1,800 on the Palstar watt meter. On the Yaesu watt meter, it's pegged.
Yeah, so at 2,000 watts, my 801 reads 1,850. So it tells me the YS60 is a little bit high. You know what I could do right now? I've got my other meter here, which is a brand new Daiwa meter, but it only reads to 1,500 watts. But I could put that in, and I could tell you what it reads at 1,500 watts. I can't tell you what it reads at 2,000 watts. That's my mobile watt meter.
Yeah, try it. Put it in place of the CN801 and put 1,500 watts carrier 1 and then CW2 on the Yaesu and compare that one. Okay, so Mark, how do you like your new radio?
So far, Ray, this is just pretty spectacular.
Wow, look at him.
Okay, can you hear me, Mark?
Yeah, yes, I can. You're very weak, but I do hear you.
I'm very weak. Well, I'm running 45 watts. That's 45. There's 100 watts. Normally, you can't hear me on 100 watts, or you're having a hell of a hard time, one or the other.
Yeah, you're fully copyable. There's a little noise with you, but you're 100%, and I don't have any of the preamps on. It's just standard receive.
How do you hear me?
How do you think? You're like, the meter goes all the way up.
The meter goes, Raymond, the meter goes all the way up.
There's got to be a rigging going on. You must put out some kind of a signal that makes those ICOM radios go crazy.
It's the Toad Harbor touch.
Magic distance apart for this particular band at this particular spot in the solar cycle.
Hello, David.
Yeah, hello. Didn't mean to break in N1SAG. I heard on 20 meters today they said that there was a really bad solar storm causing all kinds of mischief up in the sky, and that's why our radios don't work so good.
Well, I don't know. Mark's radio. Hey, Mark, do you notice everybody's audio sounds better?
Oh, yeah. It's night and day. It's night and day.
Are you running an external speaker?
Which mic are you on, Mark?
I'm actually on a Heil. This is the ICM-BG.
The ICM. Okay.
Yeah, the fella down at HRO, the head manager, suggested... I was kind of asking him about that mic you guys were looking for me to get, and they didn't have anything like that there, and I had a few extra bucks, so I thought, for grins and giggles, I've never been a big Heil fan, so I wasn't expecting anything real. He said he pulled two out of the cabinet, he put them on the knee, he said, both of these will work very well with the ICOM. I said, well, what's the difference between the silver and the black and gold one? He said, nothing, it's the color or whatever. So I picked the black and gold windscreen, and that's what we're running right now, and I'm auto power.
So that's an ICM, correct?
That's an ICM-BG.
I don't know what that is, but where's your bass and treble set?
No, I set that up by, I think Chris was in here earlier, and we kind of set that up. I'd have to go into the menu, but I believe the bass is at -2, and the treble is at +3.
Try the treble a little higher. Let's get into the menu and go to, let's hear it at 3, then let's hear it at 4, then let's hear it at 5.
It's all about the bass.
Yeah, get into the menu system, first of all, and then understand how to do that. And we want to get you set up just right, because it's that radio has spectacular audio, and it should be simple to set that up.
What radios he got?
The ICOM 7300.
Yeah, the newer, not the old one like you have, Dave. He's got the new one, the 7300 XR.
The XRT, I think it is.
Okay. Anywho, this is treble at +4 now. This is +4 treble over.
Yeah, I like that better. What about you, Randy?
Without question. Are you running compression, and do you have your compression on wide?
I did have compression on earlier, but a friend of mine here locally that knows my voice says I sounded a bit muchy on the compression. He said, turn it off, and he said, you sound exactly like you should sound with no compression, but I can turn it on for you.
Yeah, okay, now, quick question. What kind of radio is your buddy running?
He's running a 590 Kenwood.
Yeah, okay, that's a good radio. It shouldn't sound all muffled, but that's crazy. You always run compression. Always. The fact that he told you to turn it off should just a light bulb should go off. So turn the compressor on.
Mine's on 7.
Yes, he said that you would give me that response, so I was fully prepared. Yes, this is compression on at 1.
Okay, yeah, but now what you got to do is cut back on the mic gain. See, the ICM mic, let me just give you this. This is important you know this. The ICM is a very high output microphone made for old ICOM radios, not new ones, old ones, and it has a shitload of output, so you got to put the mic gain way down.
All right, I dropped the mic gain down to 60%. This is 60% over.
Okay, hold on. Just make sure. Let's just go a couple of things, because Ray's right, and you just got to make sure of a couple of things so we don't do this all night. The compression is on, and you're on wide, right? Compression on wide, and then look at the compression on wide. What numbers are you on? Are you on 100 to 2900?
Oh, you mean my transmit bandwidth? Yes, I'm on the wide format at full out up to 3K, yeah.
Okay, very good. Now go ahead, Ray.
Okay, now, cut the mic gain back to, like, say, let's go back to 40%.
All right, the microphone, let's kick the amp on there so you can hear me good enough. The microphone is now at 40%. This is 40% over.
Okay, now the compression's on what number? 1?
It is at number 1. Number 1.
Yeah, well, try it on 3.
All right, compression is now on number 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 is the number over.
Okay, let me hear. I want to go to the treble on +5. I want to hear it on 4 and then on 5.
Okay, we are at 4. This is number 4. Number 4. Now, one moment. Okay, this is +5. This is number 5. Number 5. Over.
Okay, well, I like 5 better. What do you like, Randy?
I'd leave it on 5.
Okay, now let's do the bass. The bass is on, get in the bass. Bass is on -2, right?
That is correct. This is -2 on the bass, -2, over.
Okay, so what I want to hear is I want to hear -2, Mary Had a Little Lamb, Her Fleece Was White as Snow. Then go down to -3, and then go up to -1. You know, go one, just go down to -3 now. Start at -3, go to -2, go to -1.
Okay, this is -3. This is -3. Mary Had a Little Lamb. Her fleece was white as snow. And we'll go to, there's -2. Mary Had a Little Lamb. Her fleece was white as snow. And we'll go to -1. This is -1. Mary Had a Little Lamb. Her fleece was white as snow. I'm about 6 inches away from the microphone. Over.
Yeah, I'd go back to 2. What do you think, Randy?
I would stay on 2, and I'd get closer to the mic.
Okay, 2 it is, and closer to the mic.
But I think I would prefer a little bit more audio.
Okay, we can bring the audio gain up, not a problem.
Boy, it doesn't sound like it needs more audio to me, but it does. I'll tell you one thing it does need, and you're not going to like it. It needs a professional series mic on there. That's for damn sure. Because I've got one of those mics, and we've made many tests where we run that mic against one of the pro mics, and the pro mic is just way better.
I'd love to hear it with a hand mic, but just give us a little bit more audio with this mic.
Okay, we're at 50% on the microphone as it stands. Like I said, I wasn't life or death on this microphone. I just picked it up for grins and giggles, just as an accessory. They were saying the stock mic sounded fabulous just the way it was before I even made any changes. So we're messing with a Heil mic here. So you know how Heils are kind of, picky.
Yeah, just unplug it and hook the hand mic up if you could.
Okay, can I pee first because I really have to go?
Make them hold it.
I'd pee on that mic.
Yeah, I would too. But go ahead, go pee and then come back and we'll do the AB on the mics.
Okay.
That mic does not cut it on that radio when it never did. Whatever.
1 second, I got to do a quick test.
Hey, Chris, you still in there?
Yes, I am. KA3SBK.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to say hello.
Yeah, Dave, I tell you, haven't talked to you in a while. I hope everything's well.
Yeah, everything's going great.
Okay.
What happened up there, Randy?
Just had to. I was testing. I'm testing a couple of meters for Ray.
It's like a power surge down here.
Okay, so at 1,500 watts, what do they both read?
Just about identical. The
Yeah.
Yaesu's a little bit higher, but just about identical.
Yeah, okay. I think the Yaesu meter's pretty close. I really do. I think the other 2 meters don't really work that good.
Yeah, the Yaesu seems to be just about the same as Yeah, even peak while I'm watching it here, it's going to the same spot. So it's a little bit more generous than my other 2 meters, but it's pretty darn. I mean, it's the most it's off is 150 watts at 2,000, but at 1,500 it was 100 watts higher than my CN801. But at 1,000, at 50 watts, at 800, the same. And on average, it's exactly the same all the way up.
Even at 2,000?
Yeah. Well, no, because I can't get to average. I can't get to 2,000 on average, Ray.
On the 801 you can.
No, not on average. Not on fast CW. That'd be about 6,000. I need the other two for that.
No. When I'm talking about average, I'm talking about a carrier. No fast CW. Put the radio in FM.
Yeah. Well, at that point, yeah. Then that's the same average or CW.
But that's the best way to do it, because the circuit for the pulsar is going to be different on both meters. If you just put a carrier out, put the CN801 back in line and put in a carrier and go to 2,000 watts carrier on the Yaesu and see if the 801 still reads 1850.
I think I tried that, and I think it did. Well, no, okay, I'll be right back. Just give me a few minutes. KB2ZVP.
Okay. Okay, you back yet, Mark?
Okay, here is the stock microphone.
Yeah, your signal's way down. Is the amp running?
The amp is now running over.
Okay, so go ahead, talk some more.
Okay, this is the same adjustment settings and everything for the Heil microphone. I did not change anything. I just plugged in the stock microphone over.
Yeah, the stock mic doesn't sound good at all. You'd have to reconfigure the whole microphone, but I wouldn't bother doing that because the Heil mic's probably better. But we have to talk to somebody who's got the mic I've got, the RE320, because the RE320 has good output. See, the MXL doesn't have enough output, and then you have to end up using a tube preamp. So I don't know if the 320 has enough output.
So, hang on one second. Hey, Mark.
You're switching back.
Oh, no, I would stay with the hand mic and get Dave's settings. Just Dave, what's your settings?
My compression's at 7, and the bass, he's just got to adjust his mic gain up, with that mic. I don't know what my mic gain is. Hang on.
I need your bass, your treble, and your mic gain, and I got your compression. Still the same, 1850.
Okay.
He's got to duplicate Dave's settings with a hand mic. That hand mic will sound way better than that Heil.
You are absolutely right, because he was on here earlier with the hand mic, and that thing really sounded good.
I don't even want to get into this. Just tell him to adjust it up like he had it, but turn the mic gain up. But the compression's got to be above 5. I know that. Randy, you and Bruce tune this radio up.
I know, but you can't tell me your bass and your treble?
Okay. Before everybody gets excited, I went back to factory default, 0 on everything. 0 on treble, 0 on bass, no compression, stock microphone right out of the box. Here it is.
Okay, listen, let's not go crazy. Everybody's going crazy here. Dave, look in your radio and just read out to Mark your exact settings, okay? I don't care how hard it is. That's what you're going to do.
Do it, and do it now, mister.
We need a general. Where's the general?
Trying to figure out how to get in.
Where's the tutors? So at least start with your compression. Mark, listen, me to you, and you don't lie to you. You always have to have the compression on, okay? You have to have, no matter what your friends say that, I'm sure you've got some good friends, but no greater friends can you have than the friends of the Toad Harbor Net. And have your compression on. Just go ahead and set that on wide and put it on 7 right now.
Okay, let me get it up to 7. right, compression is at 7. It is at 7.
Okay, where's your bass and treble?
They are at 0 point at the middle.
Okay, now Dave, did you find your bass and treble yet?
I just went by. Hang on.
Well, if not, Mark can tell you how to find it.
Here, my bass is -4. My treble's +5.
Well, I don't know what you did to your radio, Dave, but it sounds like crap all of a sudden. So you sure you didn't change it?
Who knows? You got me in the menu. I didn't want to get here.
No,
Now I'm here. Look.
he went to treble. He went to narrow.
-4 on the bass,
Yeah, he did.
+5 on the treble.
Okay, -4 on the bass, Mark, +5 on the treble. Dave, you got your radio into the narrow mode. You know, it's not on wide, it's on narrow, so fix it.
Oh, I don't even know how to get back to that.
I'll get the manual.
This is not one of our finest moments here in the Toad Harbor Net.
Okay, we're at -4 on the bass and +3 on the treble.
Okay, let's talk a little more.
All right, Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow.
If you're going to talk like a dick, we can't help you.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a dick setting?
Where's the mic gain?
My gain is at, I think, 50%.
Yeah, drop the compression a notch. Drop the mic gain back to 45 and drop the compression down to like 5.
Yeah, you're definitely too hot.
All right, mic gain's at 45. Compression is at 5.
That sounds great. Now, you're just about there. Now, where's the bass and treble?
Hold on, gotta go back to that menu. I believe the bass was -2 and the treble was +2.
Yeah, just try. Let me hear +2 on the treble and then +3.
Okay, no, actually the treble's at +3 and the bass is at -4. Oh my.
He needs more bass.
Come up a little bit. Let us hear it again at 4, then go to 3, then go to 2.
Oh my God, so many steps. Okay, I brought the bass up to -2 like Randy requested. This is -2.
Yeah, see, but Randy, do you notice that when he brings the bass up, it starts to get like hand mic sounding?
Yeah, but I think he's got so much high. So, yeah, Mark, just talk in your normal tone of voice. Put the microphone, where you would normally carry it, and just talk a little bit. Let's really listen to you. And just calm down, everybody.
All right, everybody, just calm down. Nobody move. Nobody gonna get hurt. Put the guns down. Stop the shaky hands.
Bring your treble down a little bit.
All right, trebles come down 1.2 +2. This is +2 on the treble.
Yeah, I think that sounds better.
Yeah, it does. Mark has got a little bit of a higher toned voice anyway. So I think he's got naturally a lot of treble in his voice. I just got a very trusted Toad Harbor member. Settings: hand mic at 35, compression at 4. +4 treble, 0 on bass. No, what is this? Hand mic at 35, 4 on compression, +4 treble, 0 bass to +1 on the bass. 0 bass to +1. I got it. Thanks, Dennis.
Okay, that might work well for his voice. I'm not sure, but we went to 35% on the mic gain and 4 on the compression.
That sounds better.
Okay.
So, anyway, you sound great. You sound way better than you did on the other rig. And how do you like the receiver?
Oh, dude, it's night and day. I mean, it's like I didn't even have a radio on.
So, are you going to say that we were right?
Oh, yeah, this was a great little radio for the price and what it does. Yeah, but you know what I was really looking at down at HRO when I was sitting there staring at it?
There's only one radio.
What were you looking at, Marcus?
The 890.
It's a beautiful radio, isn't it?
Oh, just sitting there playing with it. I put the filtering on, and my buddy Jeffy, he just stood there with his mouth open and stared. He couldn't believe at the filtering.
I said, dude, you need to go rob a liquor store or something. We need to buy one of these.
You need a bit more bass right now.
Okay, I'll bring the bass up 1 moment.
I think we're having odd band conditions.
No, I definitely need space, K3SPK.
Yeah, I think once you get somebody talking, just talking, then you kind of get your arms around it a little bit.
Yeah, you just need to pick to use it. Well, when I was talking with Hap there earlier before I set any of the audio settings, because I knew this was going to happen tonight. I was going to get 15 different people's opinions on where they wanted it, but I figured it'd all get averaged out eventually, and we'd get the settings set up. So I like the Heil mic. It's not bad. I just don't have a boom for it or anything, so you kind of have to hold it. But the regular stock mic seems to be performing just as well. So I've got 2 great mics to work on the rig. It's just a matter of where you get each one of them set.
How much did you pay for the Heil?
$100.
Yeah, ask them. They'll take it back. They'll take it back, no sweat. Just send the damn thing back, because the hand mic's every bit as good. And if you're going to waste some money on a mic, buy a professional mic.
Yeah, absolutely, positively. I agree with that. Just send the Heil back, get the money back. I'll send you a boom, Mark. I've got a boom in the basement. It's not the greatest boom in the world. It's one of these inexpensive booms, but it'll work just fine. It's the same boom that Ray uses, and I'll send that to you. And then I'll look for a mount for whatever mic you wind up with. But that MXL BCD1 is a really, really good microphone.
Yeah, but they don't even have that radio. Then you have to get stuck with a preamp.
I mean, it's always good to have a mic to back up on or stand by or try things, because, I mean, I'm sure we'll have other radio equipment here in the future, and we can employ it in other spots. I didn't just buy it for this radio, so. And I happened to also end up with of course, I was telling Ray last night, I also ended up with a golden Astatic D104 with real gold plating on it as well.
I've got a friend of mine
on that radio, as long as they have the transistor mod done to them. So get your $100 back and have somebody put the transistor in that D104 for you, and you'll have a great mic.
I've got a friend of mine, Bruce Patterson is his name. Well, he's passed away now. Okay, let's just put it this way. I know a guy, he wasn't my friend, but I know a guy that he had a D104 when the gold prices were way up. He took a jackknife and scratched all the gold off of that freaking microphone. I went to his house one time, and I'm looking at this thing. It looks like a plucked chicken. I said, what the hell is that? He goes, that's my Golden Eagle. I said, what happened to it? He said, I scraped off all the gold. Gold prices are way up, he says. I got to have 2-3 ounces worth of gold here. I'll bet you I got $800 worth of gold. He brought it to the place, and they wouldn't even take it.
Yeah, because it's probably not really even gold. It's probably 10 karat gold or 6 karat gold or something.
Can you imagine scraping all the gold off your D104, thinking you're going to get, $1,600?
Well, obviously he was a CBer, right?
Oh, I was 14 or 15 years old, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, okay, you can sort of forgive him a little bit because he was only 15 years old.
No, I was 15. He was like 35 or he was 40 or 50 probably.
So he was a drunken druggie, right?
Absolutely, positively.
Yeah, that's exactly the way they think.
AA1LY.
Who's the KA1?
No, AA1LY.
AA1LY?
Yeah. I just got the 160-meter antenna working again. I just wanted to give this thing a quick check. Roger.
Yeah, go ahead, Roger. You're in Chicopee, Mass?
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, this is Roger.
This is the world-famous Roger.
The world-famous Roger. Hey, Roger, we've got a big get-together. That we got another summit coming up on in June 15th. We're expecting you to be there.
Yeah, and I may need a date.
Yeah, that I can't help you with.
I meant somebody to ride down with.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I got you.
Roger, it's considered a compliment when a man asks you on a date, isn't it?
It depends on how it's taken.
So how have you been?
Good. I'm a little scratched up and tired, though. Just got the antenna working, but I put a one raised counterpoise, and I'll tell you what, I paid the price to put that up because I was going through all this thicket trying to string it, and talk about getting scratched up. Ouch.
Yeah, you'll heal up. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, this antenna's been down for about 8-9 months, so I thought it was kind of time to get it going again.
Well, you're strong. You're good to me. How is he to you?
Very light. He needs more audio, a ton more audio. Raj, you need more. You need a lot more highs, and you need to have more of what you got there. You're not near strong enough.
Yeah, but it's all relative. What's my signal level?
You're about an 8 or a 9.
Yeah. Well, now Ray is closer, and I'm sure that I'm probably 10 over 9 or something.
To me?
Yeah, my 10 over 9.
You're 30 over.
Yeah, but you definitely need more. You need more oomph. You're not driving that thing hard enough. I can promise you that.
Oh, I can certainly do that. Let me give this thing a little bit of a crack here and see what that does. That should be a little better.
Yeah, now you're 10 over 9. Your audio is way underdriven.
Yeah, well, like I say, this is the first time I've been on 160. I've really got to set this thing up.
Well, that's what I'm trying to help you to do.
Are you still running the 10 Tech? Hello, Roger. Are you still running the 10 Tech?
Not right now.
What are you running?
I'm running the Expert MB1.
I'm not talking about the amp. I'm talking about the radio.
That's the radio, the Expert MB1.
Oh, my God. You went out and bought one of those?
Yeah. The amp I did first, and I did the radio after.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you do with the 10 Tech?
Well, I still have it.
Yeah, that's like a collector's item.
It's a really great rig, so I certainly don't want to give that thing up. I do put it on the air for sure.
Well, it's like a 57 Chevy. It's a collector's item. It's in the garage. That's a great spot for it.
Yeah, if it's never used, it's a real collector's item.
No, they're nice. Have you ever seen one of those radios in person, Randy?
No, I haven't. I'm sure they're very, very nice.
No, they really are. They're a really nice-looking radio.
Great looking rig, I'm sure. How's the display on that? Is that how many? What's the distance of the span?
Oh, you can go up to 80 meg. You're talking about on the fan adapter. You go up to 80 megahertz, no problem. This radio has no drawbacks in any fashion whatsoever.
Bring it to the Toad Harbor Summit, and I'll give you, I don't know, $75 for it.
Yeah, what would that be for? The mic holder?
Well, if you can get a higher offer, I would suggest you take it.
Which radio were you're talking about the 10 Tech, or are you talking about the this new one?
Any 10 Tech. Come on, let's just face it. They're a great old radio.
Oh, that one that he had. I've seen two of them. I've seen two of those. Actually, I've never seen his, but I've seen one here locally. That other guy had one, and I'm telling you, that's a beautiful radio. That's the only 10 Tech in the world I'd ever want to keep.
Yeah, they certainly did a great job with the thing. It's unfortunate that it was at a time when they were getting ready to fold up the ship, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, 10 Tech kind of did it to themselves, believe me.
Yeah, I know it. It's sad to see there's not as many American companies building gear right now. It definitely is.
Can you put more power? I mean, I'm surprised. Mark, can you hear Roger?
most of my power right now is going into the ground because I don't have enough radials down. That's where it's all going. This is a ground burner because I really need to. I just bought about a half a mile of wire to put down, but I got to get the lawn staples and then I can start that process.
Yeah, because you're like a 9 to 10 over and Ray's between 30 and 40 over. It's just, it's just the difference is like night and day, and your audio is not hot. Like Ray's audio is very hot, and yours is just flat.
Roger, do you know I'm running a Kenwood now?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm a Kenwood person now.
Oh, they got that. Which model?
The 890.
Yeah, that's a nice rig.
Yeah, I jumped ship.
Go ahead, Mark.
What'd you do with the ICOM?
The screen went bad. I got another one, the preamps quit working, and I brought it back, and they took both of them back and gave me full value for them, and I traded it for the Kenwood. I'm done with ICOM.
Wow, I didn't know you had those kind of problems.
Yeah, those radios are nothing but trouble. Every single one of them's failed. Don't let anybody tell you any different story. Every last one of them has failed.
Yeah, right. Well, that speaks volumes of the history on the reliability for sure.
I don't know what the hell they did, but they screwed up something really royally. And the Kenwoods seem to be really good. We have not heard anybody hadn't had any trouble with a Kenwood yet.
Well, there's only 4 people in the whole country bought one so far.
Of course, there's 14 of them right here on this net.
There's only 2.
No. Al, me, the guy out towards the Cape, and the guy up in New Hampshire. There's 4 of them.
Do you have a call sign for any of these guys?
I can't remember their call sign, but I'm telling you, there's four 890s, and they all had 7610s before, every one of them.
It's a great rig. No, there's no question. It's a great rig, and it sounds fantastic.
Of course it does. It's a Kenwood.
If you just only could get that receiver working a little bit better.
It works pretty good.
I thought Kenwood had one of the best receivers in the business.
No, this one does. This radio is the best receiver in the business, but some of the older Kenwoods, they were okay. They weren't bad, but the 990, it was $8,500 when they first came out, and that receiver is nowhere near as good as this one.
Yeah, I mean something like the 590 SG. Those were right up there.
No, you're right. They were a good radio. They had a good receiver, and their performance was excellent. They just sounded like crap. They never really made those radios sound like they should.
Some of the SGs sounded pretty darn good.
Yeah, they were okay. Okay, they were okay, but you heard the only Kenwood in the world that really sounded good that time on 60 meters.
And who knows what that really was. But because we were bagging on 890 or 590s at that time pretty heavily, so you never know. It could have been total BS.
Well, it could have been. I suppose it could have been, but most hams don't come up with a BS story like that. I'm kind of inclined to agree that he was telling the truth because of what's his name there? The guy down in Connecticut who I'm having a mental block. Who's the guy down in Connecticut? He is an Anon now. He's real smart, really smart guy.
Yeah, Peter or something. Who knows? Hey, can I take this YS60 out of line now because I'm afraid that I'm losing a watt?
Yeah, is it getting hot? Put your hand on it. Is it burn? Is it starting to melt?
I can't put my hand on it because it's smoking, and I know well enough not to put a hand on something that's smoking.
Yeah, you got one of the CO2 fire extinguishers? That'll cool it down.
I keep those. I have 2 in the shack here.
Okay, well then you're all set. Okay, go ahead. You can take those things out of line. I mean, I'll bet you between the 2 of them, you're probably losing 5 watts.
Surprised you can hear me. This is KB2ZVP, QRP.
Yep, 1,495 watts.
Yeah. Where's Bruce tonight?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Where is Bruce? Bruce, where are you? Where's, what's his name? Where's Paul? Tell Paul I need an accountant. Tell him to get his ass on the air. I need an accountant. He's done accounting by now.
Wait a minute. Everybody hold on. The most important guy tonight is Good Mike. Where's Good Mike? He's going under the knife tomorrow.
Oh, really? Yeah, Good Mike. He's probably having a drink or something. No, he can't have a drink because of the anesthesia.
I've got to text him. WA3FPN. Are you in here tonight, Mike?
How about Bad Mike?
He's not in. He won't be in here tonight.
I put the lights in. I used a 50 ohm resistor in series. It kind of took the sharp edges off.
I ordered 20 whites, 20 blues. I've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got at least 35 resistors here in front of me right now, so I can get the hue just right.
But you didn't get red.
I will not, Ray, no way will I ever have red lights in my amplifier.
That would make Maureen very romantic.
She likes it. No, they're right in that same site, honey. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. I got to go help Maureen. I think Mike is on. WA3FPN. Are you there, Mike? No. I am ordering him to the radio speak. Be back in a flash. KB2ZVP.
Okay, so Roger, give us a rundown. How long have you had that radio? They've only been out for a short period of time, haven't they?
I think they were out since 2014, 2015, I believe. But I've had mine for a little over a month right now. Kind of got it after I got done with the RF2K Plus amplifier.
Oh, you bought one of those?
Yeah, I did. I was just wondering if you ever heard Devin on the over here. Do you hear him on?
Yeah, Devin's got one. Gary's got one, and they're both running fine.
Yeah, right. I've been using it quite a bit. It's a very nice amplifier, and the full equal limit tuner built in. You can't beat that.
No, what does that unit cost with the tuner? What's the complete cost with shipping and everything?
I think it was about $34.67.
That's cheap.
Yeah, you got about $100 worth of parts on top of that, and then you're ready to go. So it's really one of the better values I've seen in amplifiers.
Yeah, no, that's a beautiful amp. I don't know if I'd want to take it on because too much trouble to align. How much trouble is it to align it? Do you need all the equipment to do it, or could you do it with like a watt meter and a voltmeter?
I think you could do it with a watt meter and a voltmeter, as long as you take your time. And the critical thing is to get the default system aligned properly. And you probably need to read the current too, so you get the bias set properly. As long as your VOM can measure current too, I think you're ready to go. Most of them will, anyways.
Solid state. It's the wave of the future.
Yeah, well, these amplifiers got a pair of CW-rated laterally diffused metal oxide semiconductors, and the things are sitting. They both do CW rating of 1.7 kilowatts per device.
Right. Yeah, I heard all about those. Like you said, Ray, that's the one Devin runs.
I know Devin's got one because I talked to him at one of the meetings about it. One of the get-togethers, he's definitely got one.
Roger, yeah. I heard him on 20 today. He was trying to get across the pond. He was making a couple long-distance contacts. on 20 meters, but I didn't get to talk to him. He must have been he's got that X-beam, and he was talking to somebody down in Virginia, then he must have swung the thing back out over the big pond, so I kind of lost him. But yeah, I was at his house, and I saw his setup there. That's a nice amplifier. I think it's nice, clean, small, light, doesn't take up a whole lot of room, and I don't know, I imagine it's more economical to operate with, as far as energy consumption. Over.
What are you talking about? Small, light, since when has amplifiers ever supposed to have been small, light, or economical to operate?
Solid state, Randy. It's the wave of the future.
Oh my God, you guys. I'm gonna have. I'm dry heaving.
Oh, this should cheer you up. I drilled out those busted up screws, replaced them. You got the step start, works beautiful. New headlights. It's all tuned back up.
Dave?
I got the headlights all ordered up. Maureen just ordered them for me. Just as we just got done ordering them up. So I'll send you some pictures. I'm going to build a bracket to hold the lights above the meters of my of the Alpha here, and it's going to be just magnificent.
Dave, you just simply don't know the pleasure of taking out your tube, your real tube that weighs a lot, and it's beautiful silver, and you take it to the sink and you start polishing it with silver polish, and you keep on polishing until the thing's just glowing, and you rinse it off and you dry it and you plug it back into the amp. It's like a picture.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's getting me all excited. But yeah, no, I'm just saying it was a compact. What's this fella's name? Roger. It's a compact, nice little unit, and that's all I've been doing is humping amplifiers here, Randy. I finally got mine back on the desk, and Gary's ready to take delivery on his any day he wants it. He can. I got it set out of the way over there. I'm tired of tripping on it, but it's working good. NSAG.
Listen to that fan in the background. You don't hear that if you've got a solid state Pilot junk.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't even know if I heard Devin's run. He had his radio on, but I don't know about the amp. I don't know.
It's an AL82. You can definitely hear it. Now, stand by, everybody. Where is WA3FPN?
WA3FPN.
You hear that fan in the background? That's a real ham right there.
This is the Toad Harbor modification to this fan. This is the super duper Toad Harbor noise quieting fan setup, N1SAG.
So, Mike, are you nervous about the big operation tomorrow?
No, I'm on drugs.
Oh, good for you.
No, I'm not. The worst part of it is I have to be in there at 5:15 in the morning.
Hey, Mike, don't rush recovery. My mother had the last time she had a back operation. It was an in and out. They told her, "Oh, you can go home." She went home, fell on the floor, couldn't get up, hurt her back more. I mean, you just got to take the recovery. If you got people to help you, or just bear that in mind. You got to take it easy. That's playing with fire. She's had 2 back operations.
And by the way, how long will it be before we can expect to hear you on the radio?
I don't know. I'm thinking, they're going to operate on me first thing in the morning. If I can get out of there by noontime, I can make it to Kutztown tomorrow yet and be able to pick up some bargains.
Wait a minute. You're supposed to be in the hospital for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, you don't rush out.
I thought those back operations now, they use like a 1-inch slit, and they have you walking around in an hour or 2.
Dayton next week.
Go ahead, do it again, Mike. Good Mike. He doubles.
I said at the very least I ought to be able to make it to Dayton next weekend. I'm sure there's a couple of R390As with my name on out there.
You're losing your mind.
He's on drugs. Leave him alone. Let him fantasize.
I already lost my mind.
Well, most everybody in ham radio's got some loose screws and nuts laying around in the ham shack somewhere.
You make sure that Joanne has my number so she can check in with me and let me know how things are going.
Yes, say it again, Mike. You doubled with Randy. Mike,
I think.
make
Now
sure that
I'm
Joanne
really
has my number
before you go under the knife. So, God forbid if you croak, I'm going to help her sell the equipment. But make sure she has my number so she can touch base and let me know that you're doing okay.
Yeah, I'll have her get on the air tomorrow night.
In 3 or more.
WACF.
Hey, Doc.
Okay.
Hey, Doc.
Doc, I figured it was about time I stuck my call in there.
We were just talking about you here at Toad Harbor headquarters.
Uh-oh. Were your ears shrinking? Something was. And when I say, gee, how you doing, Doc?
I'm better than the average, Bear Boo-Boo. How about you?
I'm still looking around for picnic baskets.
So, Mike here is going under the knife tomorrow. You're a doctor and all. What do you say?
Well, if he's doing the laser surgery, he'll be out of there in an hour. They were talking about chainsaws and drills.
Don't forget those titanium screws.
You got to have that wooden mallet.
I think they need something bigger than a wooden mallet for me.
Probably they do.
Are you get like disc repair, or are they going to do fusion or anything? What's their goal here? Do you have a clue?
Yeah, I forget. Something lumbar something or other, but it's going to require 4 screws and rods.
Ay, Chihuahua. Just be careful. So, Ray will attest to this. The last time that we had a Toad Harbor Net member that went under major surgery, just similar to yours, but on a different part of the body, he was gone, and he hasn't been heard from since.
Oh my God, what are you saying? Kilo 1, Delta Sierra Kilo. I have cataract surgery next week. I hope I don't disappear.
So do we. I heard you on 20 today, Devin, N1SAG.
Hey, Dave. Yeah, 20 was, surprisingly, I got a lot of contacts from DX today, even though band was not good. So I had fun today. That was good. Back to you.
What antenna?
The hex beam.
That's a great. I might order a hex beam. That's a great antenna.
20 meters on 20, and the loop on 20 and 17 yacht. I tried different experiments with different length of the feed line. If I change the feed line length to 78 feet, I can use 20 meters, no RF. But there is screws of 160 meters. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Randy.
I have nothing. I like the hex beam. I was thinking about picking up another hex beam one day, but anyway, I'm building I'm rebuilding, or I guess I'm going to build a new antenna for 160 here. So I'll do that first, and then maybe when I get the tower up, I'll put the hex beam on top of that, maybe.
Yeah, I'm building a folded counterpoise for 160 meter, raised 10 feet. And I have a second hex beam. If you need one, let me know.
I'll let you know. We'll talk. So Mike's in here. Mike's going under the knife tomorrow. So any good words of advice, Devin?
What sort of surgery, Mike?
Back surgery, a couple of screws and rods.
Hey, no problem. Don't worry about it. It's got a piece of cake. About 11 years ago, or 10 and a half years ago, I had a heart bypass surgery, 6 bypasses. You always hear of 2 or 3 or 4. I had 6. First month was a bitch. After that, I'm just like a new person. Life was very good. Once you go through, you may have tough days for a few days, but after they fix it, you'll thank them. Life will be very good. Go ahead.
Dave, can you say bitch on the Toad Harbor net?
Only after you had 6 bypass surgeries.
Okay.
Oh, it was a reference to an animal.
That was a great answer, Dave.
Got it. KB2ZVP. I can't say it.
That's one of the best Daves ever came up with.
He's pretty sharp, that old guy.
Yes. I just want to know if I can pick up R390As when I'm finished with this.
Yeah. Well, there's a good reason right there to have somebody hire a young 18 or 19-year-old kid to carry him around and bring him to the next swap meet and dump him.
Make her a 22-year-old.
I can't do that.
You got your hottie. Where's your hottie anyway?
I think she's upstairs already because she has to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, too.
Well, I'm sure she's more concerned about it than you are.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yes, it's always the case. When I had my surgery, I was not worried about it. But my God, my wife, she just went crazy with this. She was so worried, but she was an angel. She nursed me right back to health for 2 months. So she has to do the work after surgery. You just come home and lie down. So a lot of it depends on her also. It affects her. Good luck, my friend. Hopefully everything will go well.
Thank you. I'm just trying to figure out how I can get the 7610 in there and a big long piece of wire.
You just worry about paying attention to the doctor and the hot nurses and do what they say, and when you get home, check in.
I'll probably have all the old, big, round nurses.
I suppose none of you guys got all-star nodes anyway.
You guys doubled.
I said they do a better job giving back rubs anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure, and I'm probably not going to care what they look like.
None of you guys got all-star nodes?
When I came out of surgery, when I came out of my last hernia operation, I don't know what I was saying, but apparently it was pretty funny because Dr. Dr. Stevens came in to the room for my checkup, when I went in for a checkup afterward. And Maureen was there, of course, and I said, "Hey, Doc, how's it going?" She goes, "Oh, my God." She goes, "You are by far our favorite patient." I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes to Maureen, she goes, "Do you have any idea? What you got your hands on here?" She says, to Maureen, and Maureen says, "Oh, my God." She goes, "There's no question." And she goes, "The nurses were just going crazy over your husband. He was just the funnest guy when he was coming out of that anesthesia. He was joking and laughing, and they had the nurses all gathered around him. He was kidding around with them, and he kept, every other word was, 'Where's Maureen? Where's my wife? Get my wife.'" But then he would, start talking again, and I don't know. They had a lot of fun on at my whatever expense.
KA2EXE.
So we had a really good time coming out. I've come out of anesthesia a bunch of times like that. I had third-degree burns one time, and when I came out of the anesthesia, apparently I was racing or something, and the doctor said, "We never had anybody come out of anesthesia like that." He says, "You were like drag racing or something." He says, "You were having the best time all by yourself in that room." Hi, Steve.
I think you have to be careful. I hope you don't have any secrets. When you're under anesthesia or you're coming out, you reveal all your secrets. You talk about things which only you know, and people can hear it. Go ahead.
That's probably why they were so happy to hear from me.
Oh, yeah, you were telling all the things about drag racing and other things, which they probably didn't tell you.
Yeah, the last surgery, I'm sure I had much more interesting stories than when I was younger, and I had those burns. I had anyway. That's so whatever.
Come on, Randy,
Steve.
tell us some story.
How did you get third-degree burns?
A step broke that I was standing on. I fell into a vat of boiling hot graphite impregnated water.
Oh my God! Ooh, I don't want to hear anymore.
It was inside my boot, and that's where the burns were, at the bottom of my ankle. When I couldn't get the boot off fast enough, and the water laid in there, and at the top of my ankle and all that stuff.
I told you I don't want to hear anymore.
Then I had to have the skin grafts from the top of my thigh.
Can you write on your foot with chalk now?
Nah, it's all good. You can't even hardly tell the scars, hardly.
There's nobody talking on 1855.
It really stunk. Who cares? It really stunk. That was. You want to have pain? You want to have pain? Just go and get yourself some third-degree burns, and have to go back to the doctor's office once a week and have them peel all the dead skin off. Oh, that's pain.
So, Mark, where are you?
I'll be back in a minute. I'm on 220.
Basically, he's saying anybody say something besides Randy right now.
What the hell are you doing on 220?
WG2E.
The worst amateur band on the planet.
WG2EXB.
Hi, Steve. Hello, Carl. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Carl.
Hello, gang.
Hi, y'all.
Wow, geez, I just had a marathon team viewer session with my mom's computer and my mom's cell phone.
How's Mom?
Mom is fine, but she gets frustrated with technology.
I would get frustrated with technology.
Yeah, you guys maybe changed my radio all around trying to get, where did Marcus Caparadius go?
Already? That was quick.
He's on 220.
So he's communicating with his, wait a minute, can he work crossband with his HT into his 7300 like he used to do with the 89 or that 2000?
Nope, I can't do it.
God, that's a wonderful thing.
I know, it really is.
And 1MPQ. Good evening, guys.
Hello, William.
Yeah, I got my radio back. That was quick. Only thing wrong was he said the display wasn't even that bad compared to most.
Compared to most. Boy, does that speak volumes or what?
Yeah,
Did you get one of the new ones?
You got to be careful what you say. That's why the jails are filled with people.
What do you want?
Which radio, Bill?
Hey, Ray.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You called for me?
Yeah, well, stand by where Bill's in there. So anyway, did they change the display?
Yes, I have a new display in it. I think it's a new old style display.
But it wasn't that bad compared to most.
That's right. You could still read the numbers on it.
There's only one or two they've had returned.
Oh, God. Those guys, you know what? They never learned. Do you realize I watched a show on Richard Nixon the other day, and they said Richard Nixon would have never been impeached at all if he didn't try to cover that up, because he did not know about it. But when they ratted out to him and they told him they broke in, he tried to cover it up. If he had not covered it up, they would have never impeached him.
Hey, how's the signal tonight? I got my antenna back up to where it was before the tree, one of the trees broke and knocked it down 20 feet, but now it's right back up to where it used to be. So KC1KUT came over and helped me get it up higher.
Are you running the amp?
Nope, barefoot.
Oh, then you're doing good. You're almost 20 over 9.
Yeah, you're okay with no amp. You're not strong, but you're way weaker than everybody. But you're 100 watts. You're okay.
Is the background of your display nice and black?
I haven't even opened the box yet, so I guess I should check it.
Okay, I really noticed the difference on mine.
Did they fix the preamps?
He hasn't tried it yet.
Well, but I mean, were your preamps working okay?
Heat sinks were fine. Everything was fine, except for slight discoloration in the display.
Did they resolder that thing for the preamp?
He checked it, so it doesn't say he fixed it, so I guess mine didn't need it.
Okay, we'll be awaiting the test.
What do you want to bet he tested it and soldered it? If it's a known problem, he certainly would have fixed it.
Would he have put it in the notes that he had soldered it, or not even mentioned it?
Believe me, they won't mention anything they don't have to.
It was.
Hey, I got the paper that they sent with my return radio. If you want to hear what he said about that.
Yeah. What's yours says?
It says verified the heat sinks were properly installed. Preamp 1. Main band intermittent, resoldered connection on RF unit board, replaced transistor Q3333 on the RF unit board.
Okay, yep, nothing like that on mine. Just said he tested preamp and it was fine.
Well, I hope you're okay then.
Well, I'll tell you, if it's working, it doesn't even compare, though, to the Prius Flex. It's like, like night and day difference between the two radios with the preamp.
So my 7610 had a high gain preamp like that. The second you turned it on, you wouldn't hear anything.
So my Chinese fortune cookie future, whatever the fortune says, act like a role model. The younger is watching.
Yeah, okay. Well, hey, what can I tell you? Hey, Roger, are you still in here? I want to know what the radio Roger has. That's that new one I finally saw advertised in QST. Remember, Randy, I had you look at it. Has Sherwood done a test on those?
Not that I know of.
Well, he said they've been out for like 2 years.
Well, then they're way down on... No, let me look right now.
Yeah, do you know what it's called?
I do.
Yeah, look and see if Sherwood did a test on those. I'd be very interested in seeing how they do.
What radio are we referring to?
Expert radio.
And when they showed them in QST, this last issue that just came in, they have a picture of them. It's an Expert something or other. It's the same company that made the amplifiers.
Okay, yeah, I believe they operate on a Windows. It's like a computer system inside it. Runs Windows, I think, right?
I have no idea. I would never buy one, because I don't want a radio that runs I don't know if it runs an external computer or if it runs an internal, maybe I would, but anything that runs an external computer, forget.
Yeah, it's not on here. I don't see the new Yaesu on here yet either.
Well, how could it be?
I can't wait for that. I got to call him tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that thing does.
I got to send one of the new Toad Harbor T-shirts.
Oh, okay.
He might get the very first Toad. Well, yeah, he may get the very first 2019 edition.
What radio did Mark get?
What's that, David?
What radio did Marcus Caparatius buy?
He's got the 7300 XRT.
I never saw an XRT. I never heard of them.
It's really new.
Now, I got something going on here I just don't understand.
It's called You Can Hear Things.
Okay, hold on here. What's going on now? Okay, can't do that right now. I have the port on the back of the radio for keying the amp directly connected from the 7300 here right to the amplifier, and it is not keying it.
Uh-oh. That's not good. You know why? Because your amp, that amp, that's an old amplifier. That's got like 110 volts.
No, a regular relay, the Kenwood keyed it up with the same circuit.
The Kenwood has a relay in it.
Right.
The ICOM does not. It has a transistor switch, and it can't take that voltage.
Yeah, if you read in the manual, it tells you about building a relay switch for older amps.
Okay, so then, I'm back to the original problem then. Okay.
Yeah, but you could have blown up the radio. That's the problem.
See so you could. There's a workaround. You could. So really, what you should do is have it so well, if you had it the extra. Yeah. Well, there's a workaround. If you use a foot switch, you use a foot switch to key the amp, and then the amp keys the rig.
I'm going to build a little transistor switching circuit that drops the relay on the beverage switch, and that relay drops the relay on the amp. I just need a little bit more gain. That's the problem.
What is that amp? What kind of current is that thing switching? Do you know what the amp draws for current and what the voltage is?
I believe it's 12 volts, but I don't know what the current is. It's small signal stuff.
Well, then it shouldn't have blown up the radio. Why'd the radio stop switching it?
Well, I actually metered the radio. When you key the mic up, it goes to 1.6 ohms on the keying circuit.
Well, usually those old amps, they used to run 120 volts DC. Now, a lot of those old amps did that, and that relay in there, that transistor switch in there cannot handle that kind of voltage.
My SB220 draws 20 milliamps on, I think it's 120 DC.
Yeah, well, the Dentron here is not like that, or it would have blown the Kenwood up when I did that. But no, it's just short of what it needs to pull the relay I have in the switch down. So I just need a little bit more gain. So we'll just build a little transistor switchy thing and stick it in there, and it'll be fine.
Make sure you crank the time up on your relay delay.
Yeah, did you do that?
No, but we will do that. We did that on the Kenwood, remember?
Right.
I'm just switching the amp in manually by hand right now, and it seems to be fine. So, yeah, no problem. It drives the amp nice.
Oh, it will. It's got more average power.
It's working, driver.
You liking it so far?
Oh, yeah, this is like, a Lincoln Town Car compared to a Kia.
I'm not sure the Kia manufacturers would like that.
I don't really care.
ICOM should have just stayed with that radio and just been happy.
They should have stayed with the technology that they knew.
Well, they could have taken this radio and just taken it to the next level. I mean, this is basically a 7000 on steroids, and then just taking the architecture and just take it to the next level with some more bells and whistles. I have no complaints, but I've never ran an 890. I haven't had my fingers on a 101. I haven't used a Yaesu 5000. I have no experience with rigs of that caliber, so I can't even begin to talk.
Did they have a 7851 there?
I believe they did.
You believe?
There were so many high-end rigs there. I mean, I was just glassy-eyed. I just couldn't tolerate it. I had to walk away because,
Just for the hell of it, out of all the high-end rigs you looked at, which one did you like the best?
Well, the one I really looked at because of your influence, I was kind of looking at the 890. He just had set that up. He was just getting it hooked up. And we were on, I think, 20 and 40 meters, and they were on their beam or whatever, and we were looking at it a little bit. I was pushing some of the filters and listened to a little bit of the audio. I didn't get too crazy with it. We didn't spend a whole lot of time there. But, I kind of spent a little time with the 890. I saw some of the other rigs. They had a 101 there yet, but it wasn't hooked up yet. They had the 590 there, and they had, what's the other one they had? Oh, they had like 15 or 20 different higher-end rigs that were on display that he was still hooking up. But I played basically with the 890.
Where were you, Mark?
HRO, Delaware.
Okay.
How long of a road trip is that?
It was about 2 hours.
Yeah, that's about how far Ham Radio Outlet is from me, too. That's a long haul.
Man, I'll tell you, I'd be there every weekend. I'd be buying breakfast for those guys.
Yeah, and we hit Diener's on the way back home and got the buffet there in the Amish country. Oh, the chicken and gravy. Oh.
Yeah, chicken and gravy. There's got to be weed in that.
I don't care what they put in it. It was good.
Chicken and gravy?
Oh, yeah, I had chicken and gravy and sweet potatoes and greens and a salad. And, they had anything you wanted you could have got there. And they had desserts. And, oh, God, there was a 35-minute wait.
Where'd you stop?
Diener's, right there on, is that Route 30? Yeah, I think it's Route 30, right before you get into Lancaster there. It's down from Lancaster a little bit.
I'm still not picking up what you're saying.
Diener's.
Diener's? Where's that?
With a delta, as in Diener's.
Yeah, I'm not picturing that.
It's a little place right by, you can buy shoe-fly pies and whatnot. They have a little Dutch place right beside. It's a tourist trap. It's right down past, oh, crap. What's the name of that town there? Just as you come off 30 or off the main drag highway, it turns into regular 30. Down past Dutch Wonderland a little bit. Keep going down. And it's before you get off on 41. I'd say probably 4 miles up from 41. On Route 30 on the left-hand side as you're going southbound.
The place Miller's Smorgasbord.
It may have been. I don't know. It's called Diener's now.
Yeah, okay. I know where you're at.
Good food.
All right, I got to get out of here, guys. 7-3s, we'll talk to you sometime soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but I hope to be back. WA3FPN.
Good luck, Mike.
That's a 45/9 signal strength, Mike.
Good night, Mike. 73, best of luck. And
good luck, Mike. We'll be thinking about you and sending good thoughts.
Thanks, Maureen. Thanks, guys. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it being over.
I'll bet you are. Well, best 73, and just think, if something goes terribly wrong, we're gonna find great homes for your equipment.
That's certainly a comforting thought. Thank you.
Well, at least you'll be out of pain.
God bless. That's right. Well, anyway, I'm sure things will go okay. And please make sure that Joanne lets me know what's happening.
I'll text you guys when I come out from underneath.
All right, pal. See you on the other side.
Good luck.
Hey, Mike, good night. Best wishes, and talk to you in a week or so. 73, K1DSK. I'll be saying good night, too. Good night, everyone. 73, K1DSK.
Good night, Devin. Good hearing you.
Okay, Devin, N1SAG. And get well quick there, good Mike.
Good night, Devin.
They come and they go.
Yeah, and they come and they go.
Mark, you were close to my place.
Oh, yeah, I guess Rod and them are right down near there, too.
I don't know. But when you came down 30, if you would have continued on 30, you'd have went right by my place.
Well, we did pass a particular ham shack there on 41 going down through. He had a nice tower and some, he had a quad there, single quad, multi-band quad, and he had some VHF stuff on a tower, some wires.
Boy, that radio's punchy compared to the old one.
Yeah, I left the settings where we left them, Ray. I haven't made any changes.
I know, but I'm saying the readability is like 3 times what the old radio was. It's amazing.
You got some stout audio going there now, Marcus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I was already told on another frequency about turning my compression off, so there's going to be a great battle between the minds.
There's a place that they can kiss upon your anatomy.
Yeah, my compression's on 7.
That sounds awful.
My gain's at 84.
Yeah, never even bring up the fact that you got a different radio or anything else. Just run it, just whatever.
It's all a matter of opinion, and everybody's got a different one.
Yeah, but you know what? They all have the wrong one. We have the right one here. Of course, you know that.
Hey, I'm not going to disagree with that while I'm an official member.
Well, when they start talking to you, you just hold up your left hand and say, "Excuse me, stop, guys. I had the Toad Harbor tune-up." Enough said.
Yeah, it is getting almost to that point, isn't it? You know what? To be God honest truth, Randy, and I used to laugh at you guys for this, but now that I listen around on the band, on a lot of these other guys talking, there might be one or two other fellas that sound pretty good, but the rest of them just kind of sound like boo.
Hurrah! He's arrived. I'm going to tear up. Marcus has arrived.
It doesn't mean I'm going to sit there and I'm going to tear them a new butthole and tell them how bad they're running their equipment and how much of a jerk they are or anything like that. I'm not going to do that. They can run their equipment any way they want, but it just, you can't knock results.
But the thing is, when the noise is 20 to 30 over 9 here in the summertime, you won't be able to hear any one of those guys.
The thing is, you don't go there and knock them. You just don't do that. But when they come here, you help them. That's the thing I always say when I talk to Ray, and we have our conversations, about the net and stuff. When I spend a lot of time in the mobile, and I can be out in Denver, Colorado, and there's very few people that I hear very, very well. Like I hear the people from here, I hear the best out of all of them. So, yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Mark. You just exactly hit the nail on the head.
Yep. So it all depends on what what you expect and what you consider, and what's normal to you. And if you're hanging around in a group that's a little bit subdued, and they're all a little subdued, and you come in there a little extra hot, they're going to get all flustered about it and tell you you're too hot, and it depends on who you hang with. These radios, as you very well know, Randy, and as I'm experiencing, these radios, there's so many adjustments on these rigs that you can do with your audio and settings anymore. You can make yourself sound like poop, or you can make yourself sound like an AM broadcast station, and you can go too far in that direction, too. So it really just depends on who you're hanging with and what their tastes are.
So what are you going to do with the old Kenwood?
It's sitting underneath of it on 5.2 and 4.6.
So you're going to sell it?
No, I'm not selling that radio. It's got too much history.
Okay.
You get attached to these things. Remember the guy that you ripped up for like an hour, telling him that he's crazy with all that old junk?
Yeah, that was a good Mike.
No, not him. The other guy that was weak.
There's been several.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it was later in the evening. I was downstairs listening on the crossband, which unfortunately I can't do on this radio, which is one thing I don't like. But, you kind of get attached to this junk, and, you spend years on a particular rig, and you remember all the things, and it's just, even like the guy down at HRO said, the manager, I was talking to him about having a 2000, he said, oh, yeah, I got one of them. And I said, I just could never, I couldn't get rid of the 2000. It does too many things, and it does it well. One of the things it doesn't do very well is the HF receive, but it still does so many things well. It's like the jackknife of amateur radio. You just don't get rid of it when you have one that works good. You just use it for something else.
Yeah, and the thing is, how important really is HF receive?
Wait a second. I heard a guy on a local repeater up here about a month ago, and he was talking, he had a Kenwood just like you had, and he said he didn't realize how bad the radio was until one day he had a scanner, and he had the scanner on the same antenna, and he was listening to a repeater that he couldn't hear on the Kenwood. He said he could hear it perfect on the scanner, and he could not hear it on the Kenwood. So he said he sent the Kenwood back to Kenwood to have it fixed because the receiver was obviously broken, and they sent it back to him, and he said it was slightly better, but he still couldn't hear the repeater that the scanner could hear. So those radios, and I've heard this from several people, they're deaf on VHF, really, really, really deaf. So they're just not a very good all-around radio.
Raymond, those Bearcat scanners are pretty darn good.
Yeah, right. Well, anyway, all I want to know is my next question is that new ICOM, that direct sampling SDR VHF radio. I want to know what happens when you put a 25 dB gain gas fit preamp in front of that baby.
You hear everything.
You hear the guy on Mars.
Yeah, you're gonna be hearing the Toad Harbor net on 2 meters.
Well, at least I'll hear something interesting there.
Now, my next question is, I don't think I've seen it on the front of the radio yet. How do you lock this thing? So you don't bump the knob?
I have no idea. I never owned one.
That's very, very easy, Mark.
Okay, go ahead, Hap.
Yeah, if you hit the speech button down near your right hand, down at the bottom on the right hand, it says speech. If you push it in and hold it, that'll lock it.
Got it, Hap. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, I saw the little symbol on there when I looked at it. Yep, she's locked up now. Won't move.
Just remember, when you try to change frequencies, you have to release that darn thing to get it to go again. M3ARW.
Wait. Why would he want to change frequencies?
Oh, right away.
Yeah, I mean, who would want to?
Oh, I get it. Maybe he'd want to go down to the AM band to listen to a local show or something.
Well, you guys are not on here 24 hours a day. And Mark does like to exercise his radios.
But if we were, would you be listening here 24 hours a day?
Randy, I do have a life on the radio besides here.
Really? Well, yeah, 60 meters, of course.
Yeah, and other locations, yeah. But in the evening, after 7 o'clock, this window's kind of, here.
Gotcha.
But there are other times when this band doesn't work well, during the day especially, and there are other people I talk to. So, I spread it around. I'm an equal opportunity irritant. I don't just irritate one group.
Hey, by the way, where's 2D?
I think he's ashamed of himself. He didn't get the antenna fixed today in a beautiful sunny 70-degree day today.
I can't believe he'd actually go to work rather than work on the antenna.
Sacrilege.
Maybe he's been trying to call all night. Nobody's heard him.
I swear to God, about 11 o'clock today, I thought to myself, I should fake sick and just go home, work on my antenna.
Yeah, you've been putting in too many hours there.
It was a good lawn cutting day.
Yeah, and I got my new blades on, too. I'm just raring to go. I went out real early this morning with my chainsaw. There was a whole bunch of logs that broke off a tree on one side of my lawn here. And, they were big. I had to cut them in 3-4 pieces to move them. And I finally cleaned them up today, so I'm ready to mow. And when I cleaned my garage, I found about, must have been 40 pounds of fertilizer, and I have a spreader, so I put it in the spreader, and I did my lawn until I ran out of it.
Now you just got to put up the other half of your dipole.
That's right. I'm working on that. I have a doctor's appointment, and then after that, I'll be working on getting that wire over the tree. If I can get that one wire over the tree, that's the tough one. Once I get that over, then the other wire's already over the other side, so I can put up a 4-wire in a matter of probably a couple hours.
I got 3 new golf balls. I'm ready to go Saturday.
Yeah, man, I threw away a whole bunch of golf balls. You need golf balls? They're all over the place around here.
Yeah, I always need golf balls.
God, I must have thrown away 20 of them. A few of them rolled down the hill. I'll try to pick them up.
No, you don't worry about it. We've got two golf courses right at the end of our road, and but that's what I use in my slingshot. That they are dynamite projectiles.
So do you go out late at night, about 11, 12 o'clock at night, with a flashlight and some a face mask and go through the ponds?
No, I just go to my guys at work and I say, hey, I need some golf balls. Anybody's got any golf balls? Oh, I got lots of them. I got some in my truck. I got some in my cars. The next thing you know, you got a desk full of golf balls.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I figured you'd go steal them at night.
No, these guys are, they like to make sure that the boss has got lots of golf balls if he wants golf balls.
Of course, he doesn't golf, so they must wonder what you do with them.
I tell them I use them in my slingshot. They're not surprised.
WQMUR.
Has anybody heard Bad Mike in here?
No, haven't heard Bad Mike at all tonight.
Mike. So you got picked up by the Easter Bunny Patrol.
Yeah, I was listening to the SDR on the Pennsylvania SDR, listening to Mark fire up a 7300, and I'm saying, he's getting all this advice. Yeah, set your compression at 1. I go, no, not 1.5. And then he was like, my treble's at 2. No. What kind of a high mic do you have? HM12? What kind of a high mic was it, by the way, Mark?
ICM.
ICM, that's good.
No, it's not. It doesn't sound very good.
Well, I'm saying good in relative to the HM12.
Well, anything's better than HM12. Well, hey, by the way, here you'd be the perfect guy to ask for this. Does the 320, the RE320, does that have enough drive for that radio?
You'd have to run it at, I believe that you run it like almost 90 to 100. I've got the MXL, so if I run the MXL on the 7300, I've got to run it about 80.
Yeah, but the 320's got more than the MXL has. The MXL you need a power booster.
Well, you remember I did run it on a power booster, but then after when I reevaluated it, I realized I could run it at 80.
Yeah, well, Chris down there bought a 7300 and he bought an MXL and he didn't have enough drive, and it really did not sound good, even with the mic gain at 100%. And he bought one of those tube preamps, and he sounded way, way, way better with the tube preamp.
Yeah, my cloud lifter did a great job on amplifying this mic.
And 1 MPQ.
What about Bill?
Hey, I'm on the 7610. Definitely an improvement. The black is quite a bit blacker. Perfect? I would not say perfect.
What's not perfect?
Still a little light on the right-hand side of the screen.
Well, how did you know that you've got a new old screen?
Because the new ones haven't been released yet.
How could it be to be a new display and be bright on one side?
It's barely noticeable, but it's definitely if you know what you're looking for now. So.
Well, how was your old one? Which one was better?
Oh, this one's way better than the old one.
Yeah, but still, wow. Are you going to send it back?
No, not until the new screens are released.
Have you looked at it in the touchscreen calibration, so it's all black?
How do I get there?
Menu, set, others, touchscreen calibration.
All right, I'm going there.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion, Carl.
Well, that makes the screen completely black so that you can really see without any extraneous things.
And it wouldn't have been ironic if that would have fit Ray's 7610?
It doesn't fix it. It just tells you how bad it is.
No, I mean running the calibration on it.
The screen as a whole, all black. There's no digits, no meters, nothing. So it's the best way to look at it as a whole to see how the color is on the whole thing.
Well, wait a second. You guys don't know how bad my screen was. You know the white writing down where it says menu, or down on the left-hand lower side, there's the white writing under the normal screen. When my screen was black in that area, you could still read the writing. It was burned permanently into the screen.
I'm curious. I mean, I'm sure that screen was bad, but I was curious. Have you ever run the calibration? Did you ever run the calibration on the 7610?
No, I never did. I didn't even know about it. But had I done it, you would have been able to read the whole left-hand side of the screen and the where it said menu and mode and all that stuff. You'd be able to see it right, and it burned into the black permanently.
That only calibrates where you touch it, just so it's in sync with your fingers. But my old screen, when I went to that screen, I could see the ghost of the panel meter on the right. And this new one, it's completely black.
Yeah, well, all I know is when I got the second radio, which they claimed was a brand new radio, and it certainly was not, because the screen on the second one was just way better than the screen on the first one. Way better. The screen was beautiful. Really, really nice. Of course, the preamps quit working.
Preamps, schmeamps.
What are you seeing, Bill?
I'm going to send Randy the picture.
Send it.
Well, for those of us that you can't send a picture to, what are you seeing?
Hey, good night, all. WA3S 73.
Where you going?
Randy explain the picture.
Mama's over there on the bed, so you know.
Well, good night, Doc. Best 73, pal.
See you, Doc. WG2E.
Ray, well, y'all. 73.
Yep, 7-3.
Take it easy, Doc. Say hi to Mama.
Remember that cable I told you about, Randy? I had the double-shielded, silver-plated R600.
Double-shielded, silver-plated 600, yeah.
Right, well, I dug that out today because Paul came over and finally picked up that engine parts. He didn't pick up everything, but he picked up the majority of it, and I gave him a whole bunch of other crap I wanted to get rid of. And I found that piece of cable. And, I didn't know this. That's a 75-ohm cable.
It's a LMR 600?
Well, it's a variant of the LMR 600, but Paul looked at it and he said, that's 75 ohm cable, and I said, now that I think of it, you're probably right, because it was for stacking the four. No, you know what? I take that back. It was for stacking 4 antennas into a power divider, so it wouldn't have been. No, it's not 70. It's got to be 50 ohm cable.
Yeah, it would be 50 ohm cable. That wouldn't be 75.
If you ever want that for something, I don't know. The only thing it's good for is a jumper, but it's really, really stiff. That's the thing about it. It's really stiff. Do you have connectors for it?
I don't. Nope, I don't. The LMR 600 I always used to use was they were crimp-ons. They weren't even soldered on it, and I don't really like those.
Yeah, I know. I agree. But anyway, I got that piece of cable here. I got tons of cable out here. I'm trying to get rid of. Dennis was going to take it, and Paul says he'll take it, and this other guy was going to buy it. So he's on his way over here, and his truck blew the rear end. He had the universal joint was all screwed up, and then he must have taken it to one of his boys, and I think they screwed him the rest of the way, because now they're telling him he has to put a whole rear end in it, because the universal joint wrecked the yoke. He drove it with a broken universal joint, so it wrecked the yoke on the rear end, and now they're telling him they have to rebuild the whole rear end, which is a total lie.
Did you get that, Randy?
I did. And I see all the lights on the bottom of the display. That's kind of odd.
Yeah, a lot of light leak on the bottom, huh?
Well, yeah, it looks, I mean, that, what I'm looking at just looks ridiculous.
So in other words, they probably put a screen from another radio in there. I bet you that's what they did.
Mine has that light leak from the bottom, but nowhere near as bad as that. Where do you have your backlit brightness set?
Yeah, I haven't touched anything. Let me go in. I don't know where he has it set.
I run mine at 10%. It's plenty bright enough.
Sounds like there's something funny going on there. I would call him up right now. I would call him up tomorrow and say, look, this display's no good either. I mean, you know, it's light on the bottom.
Well, set your brightness for 10% and see what that looks like.
Wow, Carl, I just did that too. That 10%'s fine. I was at 40.
10%?
Yeah, that's all I have this set at. I don't even know if it'll go any lower.
I still see the light leak on the bottom.
Well, I have a little bit. You can notice that it's like in 3 places. But what was your brightness set at?
It was at 50% before. I mean, it's better down low, but you can still see it. Still, though, this is $3,500 radio. They should have a better freaking display than this.
Well,
let me go to 50% and see what it looks like.
Is it still under warranty?
Yes, and they're extending the warranty for the displays.
It doesn't matter. I would call him up and look, screen is not really much better than the other one. It's bright all down by the bottom. I just want you to put it into the record, which he can do. That the screen is still bad, and I just want the good screen when you finally get it. And I want to make sure I don't have to pay for it, and I'm sure he can do that.
Yeah, I know. What pisses me off though, that's $79 in shipping.
Did you mention the Toad Harbor Net?
Yes, of course I did.
Attaboy.
It was, $79 to ship the radio out there.
Mine is a good bit brighter with the backlight at 50%, so I can see that there's kind of like 3 spots at the bottom of the screen when you're in the touch screen that's a bit brighter, but not as bad as what Randy showed me.
I've had mine at 40, and the 40 is good, but 10 is fine too.
Well, hey, look at the bright side. You can always buy a Kenwood.
No pun intended.
You can always buy a 7300 and save lots of money.
Well, that's true. I mean, hell, for the amount of... It's too bad. It's really, really unfortunate they didn't put a display output on the 7300. Then that radio would have been perfect.
I'm going to get a combiner for my 7300 and 7610.
You're some kind of a crazy man.
I'll have 200 watts.
And then you can run the 7300 display, and it can come out on a big display.
That's right.
I also noticed that the screen is a little heavy on the green, on the calibration. It seems like a little on the green side.
Well, that's easy to fix. That's easy to adjust, but it's the brightness that you've got to be concerned with.
How do you adjust the overall screen temperature?
Well, I'd have to look at mine. Let's see here.
Can you put yours in the calibration mode?
Menus, touchscreen, calibration? I don't think so.
I can put mine in calibration.
Well, if you can, I can.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
One thing, the touch sensitivity seems a little nicer.
I touch mine with my iPad pen, the rubber side of my iPad pen.
Randy, does your radio have any touchscreen function?
No, it does not.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. You really do not want a radio with touchscreen.
I didn't want one. That's why I didn't. That's why, well, we've talked about that before. But that's why I went this route, and I didn't like that the touch screen. I'm trying to find. Yeah, so I wouldn't have a obviously I don't have a touch screen calibration because I don't have one.
The shiny, you call it, round couple buttons and stuff. It should just give me a look at it.
So don't look at it. The other thing is, Bill, do you have an external display?
Yes.
Yeah, so you got to lower that display so it's in your field of view and just not look at the display on the 7610 for a while. So you get that new one. I've got an external display too that I bought on Amazon for $69. It was like a 21-inch display. But I mounted it a little too high on the wall, so I find myself always looking at the 7610 display.
Yeah, let's not look at your $3,500 display. Your radio the $3,500 radio with a display on it. Let's not look at that at all.
I know. The display actually is so nice. It's so crystal clear. It's a 1080 display, but I always find my eyes focusing on the actual radio.
Well, this is going to be my kitchen radio. So I have a bedroom radio, a ham shack radio, and this will be the kitchen radio.
Well, there you go, Mike. Put the radio out in the other room.
That's right. Bill's going to have one in his bathroom pretty soon.
I want to do. I just want to bring my iPad with me. The glory of the flex.
Pretty soon you're going to be super connected with little anodes on your head, and you don't have to go anywhere. Just sit at float in water and have your electrodes connected to you. You can just connect with the world.
Hello, Bernie.
I just got in. I'm not going to stay too long. I just want to say hello to everybody. And it's hello, Mr. Tim. Carry on, guys.
Bernie, W2MUR. How you doing, Bernie?
Hey, I'm doing great. Gotta run up to the house pretty quick here. I think my aide's going to come at 10 o'clock. She's supposed to give me a hand getting my wife in bed. I may be back, but surprised to hear you guys in here so late.
I'm going to bed. Good night, all. Have one DBL.
Oh, man, what a killjoy. He just said he was happy that we were in there so late, and then you say good night.
Good night, Randy.
Amen. You be a good boy.
You were talking about these things on your head. Let me tell you a story.
Oh, boy. You got it.
Okay. Back when I was about 14 years old, I've always been interested in radio.
1942.
Anyway, back when I was about 14 years old, I had these, I figured out how to make radios with a diode and earphones, and I attached them to a hat, and then I had two pythons for an antenna, and I rode around on my bicycle. And I was really a geek back then.
Much of the girls were going crazy over that.
I can't believe I really did that. But there were a couple of us. We rode around on our bicycles with these hats on, with these two pythons for antennas, and we had headphones on, and we listened to a local radio station with a crystal radio.
I can't believe you admitted to doing that.
I know. It was really funny. I remember we walked into a grocery store with a monitor.
I have no idea who this man is.
Well, you know what? You gotta put a little speaker, little those little speaker, those little earphones that you used to put in a tiny little, I don't know, the original earphone that you would put in your ear. Some of the guys would put them in their mouths, and they open their mouths and say, "Oh wow, I got radios coming out of my mouth."
I love that. Oh, this was way before that. These earphones were like World War II earphones, and it was really funny. But anyway, we rode around on our bicycles. I was about 14 years old.
I remember when the transistor radio came out. My dad bought these, and it was a 6-transistor super digital radio. They really marketed it.
Wait a minute. When I had to have surgery when I was a kid, and I had a banana radio. Who made that?
A banana? A banana?
Yeah, the banana radio.
Did it look like banana?
Never heard of it.
Yes, you have.
Was that a what's it called, Telco or something like that? No, what the heck? I can't remember the name. Banana phone.
Yeah, it was like that. It would open up, and it was a circle, and my God, I had to have that radio, and I could wrap it on my bicycle handlebars. It was plastic. Oh, man.
Hey, Randy, I told your wife this story and a couple of the other guys there in the shop the other day, but do I have it?
She's here right now.
Yeah, okay, let me tell you this story. It was a little longer, probably a year after I had these high tents on my head. A couple of the guys that I grew up with, and we were probably 15 then, probably 13, 14 when we had the high tens on our head. But we got these night radios. They were wireless broadcasters, and there's a big following about those because a lot of people had these. But anyway, you built them. They were a kit, night kit, and 3 of us built these, and we put together one, and we made a radio station, and we were getting very regularly out about a mile with 100 milliwatts, and actually up to about 5 miles in the right conditions. And we had a radio station going. We had 2 turntables, 45 turntables, and we had a mic and fader controls, and we had a full-blown radio station going every night, every afternoon after school from 4 to 5, and we played disc jockey, and we really had a lot of fun with it. And then one morning, my mother, I got up to go to school, and my mother threw the morning paper on the table, and she said, "Read this." Right on the front page, they were talking about these teenagers in Vestal, New York, that were they had a radio station going, and we shut it down fast and waited for the FCC, but they never showed up.
Well, they're still looking for you.
Yeah, I'm on the ham radio now. It was really a lot of fun, though. It really was.
What the heck? I'm still looking for the banana radio.
I'll have to look on the internet, see if they're on eBay. I found one of those night kit radios back a few years ago, and I bought it. It's an unfinished kit, and I never put it back together. But anyway, I had to have another one of those. 100 milliwatts, and we're getting out well over a mile.
Well, 100 milliwatts, and a mile, that's way better than Mike's doing.
Great. Well, actually, one guy told me he heard us in the car about 5 miles away.
I had, let's see, Heathkit made a walkie-talkie, So my dad worked the night shift, and then my mom kind of flew the coop, and it was just my dad, right? So it was my dad, myself, and two sisters. So I took this Heathkit walkie-talkie, and I connected this thing, and I hooked it up to the station wagon that he was driving, and I hooked it up to the body of the vehicle and to the actual antenna of the vehicle, because I knew he never listened to the radio. And I could tell when he was within 2 miles away, because this little walkie-talkie was, I think it was, I'm trying to remember I'm not sure if it was CB or 28 meters. It had to be CB. And we'd have parties, and I'd listen to the radio, and I'd set it at the CW. So when CW hit, we had to all clear out of there because he was getting too close. Thing worked great.
Hey, we're all geeks, aren't we?
So, out of here. Maureen just came in, and it's time for her to go to bed, and time for me to go to bed as well. So, see you guys tomorrow. KB2ZVP. Good night, everybody.
So Maureen's sitting on the edge of the bed. It's time to go.
She's the boss.
See you later, Randy. Hey, tomorrow when you're in, ask me what I found in my desk drawer today.
Okay, let me turn the page here for my tomorrow notes.
Ask Carl about with the desk drawer. Okay.
7-3 WG2E.
7-3 guys. WA2JID.
Good night, guys. Good night, Randy, Bernie, Carl. You be a good boy, Carl.
Sleep well, everybody. 73, good night. KB2ZVP.
Mark, are you still in there?
He's probably lost in the menu structure.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have a computer. All he has is a smartphone. So, he'd have to go on and probably watch a couple of YouTube, because all they give you is a CD. They don't give you an actual Wait a minute, I got a manual. I have a manual for the 7300. I don't know. I heard somebody say that they don't give you a manual. Yeah, they give you a manual.
I thought the manuals for the 7610 were pretty poor. I don't see why they needed to make two. They should have just made one good one.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's like they have a regular manual and then an advanced manual. I only have one manual.
Yeah, well, the others stuff is on the CD, and the schematics are kind of hard to see too on as PDFs. I wish they were just written out in good 11 by 17 pages or something, so you could actually see them.
Yeah, I hate that. That schematic messed me up really badly. I was going to modify mine and tweak it up, but that schematic just didn't work out, so I couldn't do it. Just kidding.
I wonder if we took those pages down to like Staples or Kinko's or something, if they couldn't print it in like big format.
Well, yeah, if it's on CD, you should be able to get it to 11 by 17.
Or bigger.
Or bigger. You could wallpaper your whole radio room with that.
Yeah, what I don't like about them when you got to do it on the computer is you have to zoom in to read what you're seeing, and then if you want to follow it somewhere, you got to zoom back out, and then you got to zoom back in. It's just, I don't know, it just makes it hard.
Welcome to CAD.
Welcome to old age and glasses.
Yeah, well, CAD, I remember when I left my last, two companies ago, I was running engineering, and CAD was up to CAD 12, and all my guys, a couple guys in our test equipment group, they were all using CAD, and I think they were up to CAD 12, and so every time they looked at a circuit, they'd have to zoom up on it and look at that circuit, and that one circuit would fill the whole screen. So that's what they had to go through all day long.
Yeah, that's kind of a pain. Well, I guess with dual monitors, you might be able to do a little bit better. Look at the big picture while you're zooming in on the small picture. When I worked building locomotives and testing them, our schematics were pretty big. I think they were all at least 11 by 17s, and they weren't really small like that. Each page just had a certain amount, or a particular circuit or whatever, and then the wires going to either the page next to it would just, point to that page. You turn the page, and here's the same two wires going in from the left to the next page. And then if they went to another page, of course, there'd be a reference there to say what page to go. So they were really easy to follow around.
Yeah, I saw some guys that actually had 3 screens going.
Hey, I'm going to cut out. We'll say 7-3's. Catch you tomorrow night, God willing. KA2EXP.
Okay, Steve, we'll see you later. Hey, don't forget Saturday. We got to make our arrangements for the Hamfest. Looks like the weather will be good.
Yeah, okay, what time?
Oh, I'd like to be there by 9, so let's count back from that and figure on that.
Okay, we'll it looks like we'll be going. Don't have anything planned. So thanks for the reminder. KA2EXP, Albany. We'll be off and clear.
7-3. We'll talk to you tomorrow, the next day.
Take care, Steve.
Yeah, we got the big East Greenbush Hamfest happening this weekend. Big.
What's the name of it? What's the name?
East Greenbush Hamfest. It's a pretty small one. It's kind of I think it would be bigger than Marathon.
Yeah, Marathon was not a marathon.
Yeah, well, it was an interesting drive. I'd never been on some of those roads, and of course it would have been a lot prettier in the spring or summer.
Yeah, well, that building that they had it in, at least they filled up that whole building, and it's good. And everybody, it's fun coming together and seeing what was there. But that particular one, I didn't see anything of any value in that place.
I think the only thing I came away with there was that nicely printed ARRL frequency allocation page.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's nice. I used to look at that. That's the one wonderful thing about the extra ticket, is that you don't actually have to even look at that thing anymore for the most part.
Yeah, well, sometimes I check just to be sure. Well, since I've been working on getting my my laboratory fixed up here and getting things cleaned up, I've been writing a list of things that I want to get. I'm going to start building up my test equipment a little bit. After Randy gave me that oscilloscope, it's kind of got the bug.
Yeah, I had the bug too, so I bought a nice digital scope with a function generator built right into it, and I've got a nice fluke meter, but I hardly ever use that scope. I've hardly ever used it, but I've got it there. I've used it once or twice just to make sure it actually worked, and I've also kept my eye on a spectrum analyzer. But then I thought to myself, okay, so how many times would I use that spectrum analyzer? Because even to get a good deal on one, it's going to be around $500.
Yeah, well, I thought maybe I'd keep an eye out for a used one. Do you get on YouTube?
Yes.
Well, there's a guy on there that's I'm just looking to get his call here right now that has you can subscribe to his page, and he's got about 300 videos, and a whole bunch of them are on oscilloscopes. And I was really kind of dumbfounded at all the cool things you can do with one they're very relevant to our ham stuff. It's Whiskey 2 Alpha Echo Whiskey, and he's got like 300 videos, and they're all really very good.
Yeah, I'm looking at his channels now. Boy, if you ever wanted some nice Tektronix oscilloscopes that are all tube, my dad has like 2 of them. He used to work at General Electric Aerospace before it turned into Lockheed Martin. But these things are big. They work beautiful, though. I mean, he asked me if I wanted them, and I said, Dad, they're gigantic, but they're a nice addition to a shack. If you wanted to pull one in, I give them to you, man. I mean, they got all the tubes work, and the scope works beautiful. It was state of the art Tektronix at the time.
Well, this scope that Randy gave me is probably from the mid-'70s.
Yeah, I mean, even the ones that Tektronix went to in the 80s and 90s, they're nice scopes. I mean, they're, all solid state.
Well, I'm gonna keep an eye out for things. Plus, I got an invite over to see Mike, WB2TTV's laboratory. So I'm gonna go over there and see what he's all about.
Oh yeah, that ought to be interesting. Where does he live again?
I want to think he's in Niskayuna, which is like between Albany and Schenectady.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. He does a lot of testing. Him and John did some testing, and Randy as well. But I think that, if I remember Randy saying that he was traveling right now.
Well, I talked to him on Sunday. We were on 6 Meter AM. And, we went for like 2.25 hours there talking about things. And I don't know how long ago, but he took a lightning hit at his house, and it wrecked a whole bunch of his things in his house, and he had to replace breakers in the source panel and all kinds of stuff. So he's... I guess he's taking his antennas down or something for lightning season, so I don't know if we're going to hear him on too much.
Well, I've had now for almost a year, and I just haven't got around to putting it in. I got to get it in. I've got a transit suppressor that goes in my breaker box, and I put it, my electrician's son and I were talking about it, and it's better to put it at the top of the breaker, so you got to move all your breakers down. So I don't have any blank. You want to do it right as close to the main switch as possible. But this thing cost me, if I remember, about $60 or $70. It'll handle 27,000 amps for 100 nanoseconds. It'll do it in 100 nanoseconds, and it'll clamp everything off at 600 volts. But it's quite a device, and you just put it in your breaker panel and forget about it. And it's got an indicator.
What's the size of it? Is it how is it lightning, say size-wise compared to say a 2-pole breaker?
Red lights on, you got to replace it.
Oh, sorry, I doubled with you. How big is it? How much spots does it take up?
If I remember, I think it just takes up 2 spots.
Okay, because in the old days, I seen ones that were actually hardwired into the lugs and whatnot, and the thing sat inside the panel. But if they're just plug in, I may just try to get one of those myself.
No, these actually go right into the panel. They lug right into the panel. So in other words, you'd have to provide, if you want to, the way it's explained is that you want to get it right under the main service switch, right? The main breaker switch that turns everything on and off. And you want to put it either on the left or right side. It'll take 2 spots. So if you like, I've got 2 spots available, but I don't have 2 spots on the top, so that means I'd have to move everything down, which is a lot of work, really. And that's the only problem that I'm having.
Oh, okay. So then how is it actually connected? Is it go in under the nuts on the lugs, or the wires go in? You're saying it doesn't connect by being plugged into the buses like a fuse?
No, it does. It's just like a connection, just like a fuse, and it's got the common has got a white coiled wire on it that you connect to the common side, and that's it. It's real simple to put in. My problem is I don't have any blanks up on top. I have blanks on the bottom. And they say that that's fine, but that's more ideal to put it close to the main circuit, the 200 amp. I have a 200 amp service, so there's a 200 amp breaker on the top, and that would turn on and off, and I want to get it as close to that as possible.
Okay, I didn't mean to say fuse. I meant to say breaker. So the actual electrical connections are in the stabs of this thing that you push in, just like you would push in a breaker, and then there's one wire coming out that goes to neutral.
Exactly.
Did I say that right?
Yes, that's perfect. That's exactly right.
Okay, so Home Depot or somebody'd have that.
Actually, I got it from an electrical outlet store. Electrical supply store had it. And I think I paid like $65 for it.
Okay. Well, if you need to make space and don't want to move all of the breakers, you can take the single pole breakers and put in doubles. So you could give yourself a couple holes there. So you'd have, each single pole slot would have actually two handles in it.
Yeah, I've got plenty of room on the bottom, and so I could just throw it in on the bottom, but then you lose it, like they say, logically you need to put it as close to the main breaker as possible. So that means I would have to, say I went on the left side, I got plenty of room on either left or right. So I would have to move all my single breakers down at least 2 spaces. And it's not that big of a deal. It's only for me, it's only like 8 breakers. And just would take me maybe an hour to do.
Well, yeah, and I guess moving them each 1 or 2 slots, you should have enough wire for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I had new service put in when I had my air conditioning put in here in the house. And they did a pretty good job, except the guy that rewired the stuff, he put one of my 110 circuits on a 220 circuit. And as luck would have it, the only thing on that circuit was my ceiling fan in the bathroom. So the first time I turned it on, and the light went out. I thought it just blew the bulb out. So I turned on the fan, and all of a sudden, that didn't sound right, and then it stopped running. So I come to find out that they had wired the breaker wrong. And, oh, man, I can imagine what would have happened if they had done that to the one feeding my shack.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't smell any burning smell from your fan.
Well, I did. It burnt the little motor out right away. So I called him up and told him what the problem was, and he gave me an extra breaker and replaced the motor for the fan. So I'm all good. But that could have been a disaster.
Absolutely. Yeah, could you imagine if that was, no, I hate to even think about it.
Well, so it all survived, and I got a lot of extra holes left in there. So I can add things, and that's including a 220 and a couple of single poles that are in there that are just labeled as spares right now, and I think I still got maybe 4 or 5 slots left on a spot or two, so I could probably put one of those in. I'm gonna put that on my list of things to look at. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here too. It's heading towards 11 o'clock. I'm gonna go up and have a snack and call it a night. So we'll see you later, Mike. WG2E.
All right, Carl. 73s, man. Have a good night. Don't eat too much before you go to bed. It's not good for you. But you have a great night. W2MUR in Helen Patton, New York.
Oh, I'll have a bowl of cereal. I've been having a bowl of cereal before I go to bed since I was a little kid.
That'll work out nice then.
7-3.
7-3.
10.